Item 3, recording of attendance. The audio of this meeting is being live streamed to record and to facilitate community participation for minute-taking purposes, which may be released upon request to third parties. In accordance with Clause 616 of the Town of Port Hedland Standing Orders, Local Law 2014, members of the public are not permitted to use any visual or audio electronic device or instrument to record the proceedings of any meeting unless that person has been given permission by the presiding member to do so. Members of the public are also reminded that in accordance with Clause 617-4 of the Standing Orders, mobile phones must be switched off and not be used during the meeting. 3.1 attendance. I notice that the following councillors are present and attendance will be listed under the items 3.1 of the minutes. 3.2, entertainers by telephone communications, there is nil. 3.3, apologies. We have one apology, Director of Regular Services and apologies. 3.4, approval of absence. CEO, do you have any approval of absence at all?
I have none, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, CEO. 3.5, disclosure of interest. Are there any disclosure of interest, councillors? No. No disclosures, thank you. Item number 4, public time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your opportunity as member of the public to ask public questions of council. Clause 6.73 of the Town of Port Hedland Standing Orders, Local Laws, requires members of the public wishing to ask a question to complete the question form and place the completed form in the tray provided. If the presiding member determines that the questions are out of order due to the use of objectionable and expressional or defamatory, or under clause 6.7d, they do not relate to the purpose of this special meeting, they will not be considered, recorded, nor responded to. If the presiding member determines that the statements are out of order due to the offensive or objectionable expressions or defamatory, or as per clause 6.8.6, do not relate to the purpose of this meeting, they will not be considered, recorded, nor responded to. 4.1, public question. I declare public question time open at 5:38 p.m. Mr. CEO, do you have received any questions at all?
I've received none, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you, CEO. Do any members of the public wish to answer any questions? Can you please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
Camillo Blanco, 18 Harwell Way, Richfield. I wasn't going to ask any questions today, because I'm sure there'll be plenty to be asked, but why have you closed the meeting to the people outside? You know, this is a public meeting, and can you explain whether there is a WA restriction on the amount of people that are allowed to be in a room, and also whether there's a requirement to close this meeting? Is there a legal requirement to close this meeting?
No, it's not closed at all. No, we just closed it all because the crowd, we just thought it'd be easier having not so many people in the room.
So those people can. So why is the door closed now?
No, they can go to the other rooms. Actually, you can see that other room as well. There's a live stream in the other room as well to give people more space. That's all it's for.
So it's okay for them to come in there?
Absolutely, if they want to come, absolutely. Yes.
That's all right. That's all.
Hang on. Come on.
Just one.
There are a limited number of people that come into the room as well. Yeah, there is a limit. There is a limit. There are limits. Yeah.
Okay. Can you explain who put the limits in place and whether there's a legal requirement to have a limit currently? Because I thought all of the limits were taken off by the state government.
Not correct. There are still limits around public buildings and public spaces in terms of the square metre area and the number of people allowed in that space.
Let's move the meeting to the next morning so we can have all our voices heard.
Mr. Mayor, there is opportunity for anyone who wishes to speak to come in, get to the microphone and speak, and then still maintain the number of people required in this room.
They can come and make their speech. Okay? Do you have any more public questions at all?
Has anyone got questions or a statement they'd like to make?
It's questions first.
Through the chair, if I just make, Mayor Carter, if we could have the doors open, the public can be able to hear, they can stand around the door there. And if we have to open the small doors outside on the balcony, there's also fresh air out there as well. So I'm quite sure it would be fine. Everybody will be happy with that.
Okay, public questions.
Through the chair, could we have the doors open? Could we have the doors open, please?
Happy to leave the doors open. Happy to leave those doors open. That's fine. So people can hear.
Open the doors, mate. Open the doors up.
Can I have Marie Graham to the stand, please, for her questions? Is there Marie Graham? Apparently she has a question.
My name's Louise Lorado of 120 Sutherland Street, Port Hedland. I do have 3 questions tonight. So, first of all, in reading tonight's agenda, on the bottom of page 10 of the CEO's recommendation, it says that this matter is of high significance because of significant legal and reputational damage to the town if we pursue the proposed resolutions. Can I please ask Mayor Carter if you think the CEO is referring to how our town's reputation is portrayed through the eyes of the state government or through our Port Hedland community? That's directed at you, Mayor Carter, so I'd like you to answer that.
In state government. Thank you.
So, okay. So, if you're more worried about the state government in your town, we elected you to represent the town of Port Hedland, not the state of Western Australia. So do you not feel that it is your right as a mayor to represent what the people of our town want and not what the state government wants?
I repeat, I actually represent the whole town. Thank you.
Okay, so next question. Okay, so Mayor Carter, I'm sure you've watched what's happened to our country. We've slowly seen lots of freedoms taken away over the last few years. And information's starting to get censored. This is my question to you as a father of 2 young children. Are you happy allowing your children to be growing up in a society without the same freedoms you've enjoyed your whole life?
I'm happy for that, yes, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Selena Dixon. Yes, I think. Selena Dixon? She'll stay. Okay. Is there Ryan O'Connell? Yes, Johnny, come through. Please come forward, state your address.
Hello everyone. My name is Johnny Ashton. I live at 11 Spoonbill Crescent, South Hedland. How are you all? I have one question I would like answered tonight and not just put on notice. This question there is no need to go look for an answer for. I'll get straight in it. Is it true that the state government has applied pressure or threatened you and staff members with dismissal if you support the motions agreed to by the electors at the special electors meeting on the 12th of April 2022? Is this true?
I don't think so, no.
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 It's not been. So, well, why have you told councillors that this is the case?
I haven't told them at all.
Thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Thank you. Okay, any more public? Can you please come forward, state your name and address of record, please?
Thank you. My name is Erin Browning. I have 3 questions to ask you, Mayor Carter. Do I need to give my address now or?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay. I'm at 225/233 Collier Drive, South Hedland. Do you agree the government is within its power to discriminate between those that have and those that have not had the injections, and agree that the COVID-19 mandate should trigger the termination of people's rights to work if they choose not to be dictated to have it?
That's a question for the state government to answer. I can't answer that one.
No, I'm asking you.
I can't answer that.
As the mayor, I'm asking you,
I can't answer.
please.
That's a state government issue. Sorry.
So you don't have an opinion on this?
No.
We're making that clear. Okay. Question 2 is, it's stated in the agenda of tonight's meeting under risk management considerations, there is a reputational and compliance risk associated with this item. By endorsing a pro-choice mandate-free local government and commencing action for a judicial review in the Supreme Court, the town would be acting directly against the state government and a valid law. It's all stated that the risk rating is considered to be higher to 12, which is determined by a likelihood of likely 4 and a consequence of moderate 3. My question is, with your reputation and compliance, that's aside, but with your reputation, have you actually done a risk rating in regards to support these motions that we bring forward?
We get governed by the Health Department and their risk assessment, and they give us the information that we have tonight.
So the risk rating, you've said that you've done this in regards to...
The Health Department gives us a risk assessment, yes.
Yep, so you guys haven't done that on our behalf as the electeds?
The Health Department does that for us, thank you.
So why haven't you done that?
Because the Health Department does it for us.
But you're worried about your reputation, and
But
how is the Health Department
the
got
Health
anything to do with
Department
your
does it for us.
reputation?
The Health Department does it for us, thank you. Next question.
My next question is, how does that, with your reputation, how does the Health Department do the risk assessment on your reputation as the councillors for electing us here tonight?
They guide us, thank you.
They guide you?
Yes, thank you.
So please, can you tell me
That-
why you
they-
haven't done that?
They guide us, thank you. That's your last question. Thank you very much. Please sit down.
I've got
Thank
one
you.
more question.
You've had 3 questions, thank you.
I'm going to ask one more
You
question.
can answer, okay.
It states in your conclusion of the agenda minutes, it is anticipated that the state government will in time remove the COVID-19 mandates and directions. These motions go beyond the COVID-19 mandates and directives. Today, is it the COVID-19 gene therapy injection that we're going to be told and dictated to? Tomorrow, our WA state government could follow in the footsteps of Victoria, where you are now unable to grow your own produce and food to be self-sustainable. Can you tell me, with that, go back to my question. It is anticipated. Do we know for sure? Because anticipated is a word that is not actually set in concrete, and I want to know why we are looking just at the COVID-19 mandates. So can you please tell me why we can't take this forward and remove any mandates so we have complete control over our body?
That's up to the Health Department to give us that information, thank you.
I'm asking you, Mayor
Well,
Carter.
I'm telling you now, it's up to the Health Department. We're under their control at the moment.
You're being controlled at the moment, is
We're
that what I
under
heard
the
right?
state of emergency, as the state is, that's what it's like at the moment, yes. Yeah. You've had your question, please sit down, please.
Alright, so
Okay,
I just
do you
want,
have
for
any
the
more-
record, you're being controlled, that's all I
Not
want to...
controlled,
Yes or
we've
no?
been told by the State Department, okay? The Health Department, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any more public questions at all? Yes, can you please come forward, state your name and address of record, please?
Murray Graham, 41 Gratwick Street, Port Hedland.
Okay.
Mr Mayor, does the town of Port Hedland consider the council chambers to be the elected members' place of work?
Elected members are not considered employees. It is the place where they conduct business. It's not the only place.
Okay. Mr Mayor, in November 2021 there were council signs apparently on the side of the road between Port and South Hedland next to the Coles Express Shell Garage that said, number 1, COVID Vax Clinic, South Shops. Number 2, first jab, 1st December 2021. Number 3, second jab, 1st January 2022. Number 4, third jab, 6th June 2022. 4th jab, 12th of December 2022. There was a Facebook post in Port Hedland group in regard to these signs and vaccine requirements. A lot of people complained. After the post, the signs seem to have been taken down. In the agenda, so were they placed there by the Shire or?
I'm not aware.
I've actually got photos of them.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm not aware, sorry.
You're not aware?
Not aware, no.
Because they were council signs that were actually put up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it seemed to bring a lot of anxiety and depression to the town. Okay. In the agenda tonight, it says on the bottom of page 7 and top of page 8, requirement for a third booster vaccination was also provided on the 24th of December 2021, making it compulsory for approximately 75% of the West Australian workforce to be vaccinated to continue in their roles. It's very concerning that the town knew of the extra vaccination dates before the state government even released the third booster requirements to the rest of the state. Is the town administration working in cohesion with the state government without council knowledge to push vaccine mandates on to the people in Port Hedland because of the Premier's strong economic reliance of our port? Question 3. Currently, the double dose vaccination rate of people over 12 in WA is around 91.9%. That is higher than the Premier asked for. He wanted 80% single dose vaccination before the borders would go down and people go back to their jobs. He keeps misleading the people of WA and continues to change the goalpost, although it is outside of local government jurisdiction. Can the council please give their independent position free of public health orders on mandatory vaccinations on the ratepayers of the town? Does the council independently support mandatory COVID vaccinations?
Well, I think we're all governed by the Health Department Act as a state of emergency, and that's where we are at the moment. Thank you. Do you have any more public questions at all? Okay. Can you please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please?
My name's Selena Dixon from Unit 8, Number 9, Grant Place, Port Hedland. Mayor Carter, I believe you didn't want your wife, girlfriend, vaccinated injected with this gene therapy when she was breastfeeding. Unfortunately, the audio wasn't released in time, nor were the minutes reflecting of the speeches that we made at the first special electors meeting. But for those that don't know, I stopped working because I was a family support worker, and it seemed they were going to use this needle to take away the custody of a mother's child. How would you feel if your wife or your partner had her child removed from her custody? Well, not how would you feel. Do you agree it's okay to have someone's child removed from their custody at the hands of something that isn't even approved and is an experiment?
That's a personal preference.
No, do you believe that this is okay?
It's a personal preference. Thank you. Next question.
I want to know if you actually believe this is okay. You keep putting everything on the government and the health and all the state. This is what they're doing.
Personal preference.
How's it a personal preference?
It's up to individual person. It's a personal preference. Next question, please.
So is it okay for a needle to be used to take the custody of someone's child?
Next question, please. No questions. Thank you. Do you have any more public questions at all? Yes.
Okay, so all of you
please come forward, state your name and address for record, please.
This is Melanie Cuomo. I'm 15 Lawson Street, South Hedland. So all of you here in your document, you have written that you expect the mandates to be ended soon. Is that correct? Is that what you not have in your agenda notes? That is a question.
We have our notes here.
Is that what it says?
We have our notes here. Next question.
I'm asking, do you agree that that is what is written?
Excuse me. Excuse me. We have our notes here. Next question.
Okay.
Thank you.
So in your agenda, it states that the council is expecting the mandates to end soon. Is that correct?
We have our notes here to follow. Thank you. Next question.
So at what date
One more question.
At what date do you expect the mandates to end, considering that in your own agenda you have said you expect them to end soon, and yet just in the last 48 hours, the Premier has rolled forth mandates until January 2023. So the question is, at what date does this become simply an untenable position across the state, and at what point will everyone start standing up to this Premier and his power-drunk cohorts?
That's up to the Health Department. Thank you. Thank you.
So at what point? You didn't answer the question. You've listened to questions and then you keep saying nothing.
It's up to the Health Department. Thank you. Please sit down. Thank you.
At what point will this Shire stand up? That's the question.
As I said to you, it's up to the Health Department. Please sit down. Thank you. Next question.
Are you elected to serve the people of this town, or are you elected to serve the government?
All people. A whole community. Thank you. Next person, please. Sit down. Thank you. Do you have any more public questions at all?
Yep.
Hi, Chris. Can we start voice your name and address, please? Thank you.
I'm Chris Skelton, known throughout the community as Skelts. I live at formerly 11 Pundle Avenue. I'm now 3 Hawkins Street. I lost my job after 15 years of loyal, safe, proactive service because I chose not to participate in taking the jab. My question is, am I any less of a member of this community than I was 2 years ago when I was raising funds for various parts of the community because of my health choices? Am I any less of a member of this community?
No, you're not.
Why has my community stood by while I've been discriminated against and barred from attending bars, clubs, restaurants with my family members who are vaccinated and I'm not? My community, my elected members have stood idly by and allowed it to happen and say that it's underneath Health Department.
It's under Health Department, correct.
Well, why not push back, Mr. Carter? Why not push back, Mayor Carter? I know you personally. I know many of you personally.
Yes.
Stand up for us. We elect you. Stand up for us.
Thank you. Do you have any more public questions at all? Thanks, Adrian. Please come forward, state your name, address, record, please. Thank you.
G'day, Mayor Carter. My name's Adrian McRae. I'm from 27 Leahy Street, Wedgfield. Thank you for all being here tonight. I know it's a really tough decision that is being placed in front of all of you. Mayor Carter, you said a few times tonight that you represent all the community.
Correct, yes.
Do you imply by representing all the community that us here tonight are a minority in the community?
I represent all the community, the whole community.
Okay, so I take your response as all the community that we are being implied as if we are a minority.
No, you're invited as people of our community.
Okay, so prior to the jab injection rollout, the Pilbara and the Kimberley had an 80% unvaccinated rate. So are you aware that in representing all the community, you have an overwhelming majority that did not want this jab, that only took the jab under coercion of losing their job or being completely subjugated from the rest of our society and our community?
That was under the Act, under the Health Department Act, correct?
I'm not blaming you for the directions.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, do you understand that at least 80% of this community is on our side with this?
I understand, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Do you have any more public questions at all? Okay, I will close public question time at 6 p.m. Okay, 4.2, public statement time. I declare public statement time open at 6:01 p.m. Mr. CEO, have you received any public statements at all?
Mr. Mayor, I have received the names of 3 people who wish to make a statement.
Okay, thank you, CEO. Okay, can you please come forward, those who want to make a statement, please? Put your name and address on record, please. I believe the first one is Mr. Cabanco. Can you please come forward? Thank you.
Yes, Camilo Blanco, 18 Harwell Way, Wedgefield. Now, just want to say a few things about what's going on here, and it's your job is to make decisions based on the evidence and morality of the subject in question. You will never make everybody happy. I've said that to you many times. And you will definitely create intense hatred towards yourself because you've taken a side on an issue like this without explaining yourself. So what do? Well, you take the moral high ground. The evidence before me in this agenda suggests that you've done everything in your power to not address the subject. The people have gone through a democratic process that allows them to have this mandate subject considered by the elected body of Headland. The motions passed were unanimous, without any objection. Yet you failed to include and consider the motions for discussion within the officer's recommendation in this agenda item. That's not democracy. That is manipulation and hiding behind political posturing. First thing you need to do is to put the motions agreed to by the electors in for discussion in tonight's meeting. And then I want to hear your argument. Don't sit back and say nothing like most of you do. Your job is to speak, to represent the community. You need to present your opinion for or against the proposal. Convince the other members why or why not this should be done or not be done. You have heard the voices of the people affected, and I'm sure there's going to be many more coming up here in statement time. You know the majority of the people in our area oppose the mandate, but they were forced to have it or lose their jobs. The issue you need to consider carefully and vote accordingly on, for me, it goes like this. Are you happy to discard these unvaccinated people? They are effectively community outcasts. Are you okay with people being terminated from their jobs because they are unvaccinated? Are you okay with the unvaccinated being forced to leave Headland because they cannot remain due to losing their house, not being able to pay their rent or their mortgage? Are you happy to create a second-class citizen that has no right to work in the Pilbara? Are you supportive of this discrimination being imposed on Headland people or any other person in Australia? You have the ability to challenge the state government. You have a responsibility to protect the people that have asked for assistance. This is not an exaggeration of the situation our people are in. I don't agree with what is going on, and that's why I'm here talking to you. The people requesting your help have been put in this situation by the state government. I don't believe it's lawful. Other democratic countries around the world have been forced to abolish mandates because their high courts have ruled it's unlawful. All you need to do is fund the court action, allowing the court to decide the validity of the state-imposed mandates that have created segregation and apartheid in our state. Sending a letter to Mark McGowan does not cut the mustard. This legal action needs to go ahead, and it needs a court ruling. That means the legal action needs to continue even if the state government removes the mandate. We need to know if the state government had the legal authority to impose the COVID vaccination. And in my opinion, overrule the Australian Constitution. The right thing to do is to challenge the state and let the courts decide whether the state government had the power and authority to strip people of their lawful rights to work and provide for their families. That's the simple. Simply, that's what it is. So if you're happy for that to happen, then don't vote for this and sweep it under the carpet, and everybody here will know what you stand for. Thanks.
Thank you. Do you have any more public statements at all? Let's be coming forward, state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. My name is Louise Lorado of 120 Sutherland Street, Port Hedland. As you're all aware, tonight's meeting has the ability to either make or break our town. We have elected each and every one of you to represent our community. Now, tonight I've already heard firsthand from Mayor Carter that he is more worried about his reputation and how that's portrayed to the state government than his community. But today, as electors, we are here in huge numbers. We don't normally get these numbers at your council meetings, but because this is such an important issue in this town. But we're here to show you all support, and that we all want you to make the best decision for our Hedland community. Tonight is not about what's good for business and playing it safe, just as the CEO's recommendations in tonight's agenda implies. But it's about what is good for this whole community. We are putting our faith in all of you tonight to make that distinction. Now, tonight's agenda is really about human rights and freedom. It is so much more whether people should be injected against COVID. That should be everyone's own personal decision to make and nobody else's business. Now, I've always loved to call Australia my home, and I've never thought of a better place to raise my two young children. It was a country where we had the freedom to make our own choices, to speak freely, openly, and honestly to one another. But in the last 2 years, everything changed. Slowly, I watched so many basic freedoms that I've always valued so highly, slowly being taken away from me, my family, and my community. To be honest, until the last minute, I was ready to go out completely against what I knew was right for me and actually go and get the jab, just so that I could continue to live this free life, because that at the time was the only way I saw forward. But I had to stop and think, and I realised that if I complied, instead of taking a stand on what was my basic human right to make, what future am I allowing to unfold for my kids? If I wanted them to grow up without basic freedoms and censorship, I'd move somewhere like China, not Australia. What is happening in our country affects every single one of you in this room tonight. If we don't take action on this now, then what future are you all allowing to unfold for your own kids and grandkids? Now, yes, we could speculate the mandates are probably going to be lifted in the coming months anyway, but unfortunately, sitting back and doing nothing is what's got us all in this place right now where we are. Councillors, by voting on tonight's electors' motions and fighting this, we can guarantee that this will never happen again in Western Australia and hopefully Australia as a whole. Now, councillors, tonight we are going to find out which ones of you have the courage to fight for the people of your town, or which of you are going to sit on your hands and hope that this all goes away without having to lift a finger. Hopefully none of you. So yes, there's going to be a cost involved in this. Of course there is. It's something so important. But I hope you all understand the cost will be so much higher if we just sit back and do nothing and hope it goes away. Now, as a long-term resident of this town, I am embarrassed at the negative reputation our council has got over the last few years and constantly being in the media for all the wrong reasons. But tonight, you all have the chance to turn that around, to be known as the council that 100% backed all your people, not just in this room, but in our whole community, and stand strong on what your people want, despite the backlash you may be receiving from the state government. What a legacy will that be for you all to leave behind? This isn't a business deal. This is people's lives. Tonight, I hope you all do what you know is the right decision in your heart to make, not just for our community, but for all of Australia as a whole.
Thank you. Do you have any more public statements at all? Thank you. Can you please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please? Thank you.
My name's Rod Cullerton. I'm a former federal senator and I'm currently politically campaigning, but my address is Mackenzie Road, Williams, Western Australia. I today have just asked to make a short statement, and that is because I've missed question time. It appears from what I'm reading before the council today is that the council is relying on state law, the Public Health Act 2016, is that correct? And not Commonwealth law?
It's a statement you're making.
Okay. It appears that the council is relying on state law and not Commonwealth law. And I understand every person that has attended tonight and the people of Port Hedland that they have been granted the rights and the effects of federation, notwithstanding anything that's affordable under their constitutional guarantees in the Commonwealth Constitution Act of this great country. But equally, looking at what is before me and having perused the document, there appears to be an inconsistency where the state is trying to use a Public Health Act without first obtaining whether there may be a reasonable excuse under Section 122 of the Public Health Act of 2016. Also taking the advice of an unelected official, Chief Health Officer, and also trying to use a state law to override Commonwealth law, and that is the Biosecurity Act. So at first glance, there is an inconsistency where a state law tries to override a Commonwealth law, and that is an automatic right to go to the High Court under Section 75I of the High Court, and certainly a constitutional question. But furthermore, it appears what I'm hearing out around the region is that most of the employers are corporations. They are registered with ASIC, and it is the case, and I know this part of it pretty well, is that in 2001 the Commonwealth established the Corporations Act of 2001, and that was the time when the states revoked its powers to oversight any regulation by state and any corporation that came under Commonwealth. So all those employers who are preventing the people from going back to work are bound by Commonwealth law and not state law. So that is a great case to go straight to the High Court under this alleged mandate that this pretending Premier is trying to move.
Thank you. Do you have any more public statements at all? Thanks, Chris. Can you please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please? Thank you.
Chris Skelton, 3 Hawkins Street, South Hedland. I've been blessed to live in Port Hedland for over 15 years now. Port Hedland, to me, is the most inclusive community in Australia. Well, it was. I love Port Hedland. I love my community. I would stand shoulder to shoulder with the next person to stand up for their rights. We're here asking you to stand up for our rights. Please be on the right side of history History is going to be remembering this and talking about it for generations to come, I can guarantee you. Please have the backbone to stand up for your community members who support and love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Do you have any more public statements at all? Yes, can you please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please? Thank you.
Lynn Taylor, I live at the Pier Hotel, 25 The Esplanade, Port Hedland.
That's fine, thank you.
I have been in this town for 24 years. I came for 2 years. But when it was time to leave, my kids wouldn't. They made this their home. I was a solo parent with nothing. I owed the government money. I worked up to 3 jobs at a time to be able to afford to live in this town. About 20 years ago, I got a flu jab and got very, very sick with it. I was 10 months of someone having to get me out of bed, take me to the toilet, bring me back, shower me, feed me. I used to have to call out to the kids to lift the sheet off my feet because I was so sore with the weight of that. That was my reaction to a flu jab. Do you think I'm going to willingly roll up for a WA? No way. I'm not going to see how that affects me. The doctors have said I shouldn't have it, but they're not allowed to write me an exemption. So what I did is I deliberately got the most dangerous virus in the world at 66 years old with an bad autoimmune disease, which I was left with from this flu jab, and I have asthma when I'm on puffers every day, night and morning. Well, I got this terrible disease so I could open my own business again because nobody has done anything about taking these mandates away. And I'm really disgusted in how you guys can sit there and do nothing about it. This could have been taken forward ages ago and nobody's done nothing. If it is such a dangerous thing, why am I still standing here now giving you a hard time about not doing your jobs?
Thank you. Okay, any more public statements at all? Thank you. Can you please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please? Thanks, Joel.
Yes, thank you, everyone. My name's Joel Armstrong. I have no fixed address due to these proxy mandates. So thank you, government. Thank you for everyone here. Well, thank you very much for everyone that come here tonight, all the councillors, Peter, Mayor Carter. Thank you for hearing all the statements of what we have to say here tonight. So I was never going to come tonight. I wasn't never going to buy into this whole thing because I'm an Aboriginal man. I was born an Aboriginal man. This government's never done anything for our people. It never will do anything for our people. And everything that it's tried to do for our people, it's all been undone. And other laws, loopholes, whatever you want to call it, have been in place, put in place. And so now we've got some of our people in the richest town, one of the richest towns in the whole of Australia, sleeping in a flat tonight. That's what we face. You know what I mean? So this is the reality of it. So tonight, I thank you very much for hearing everyone's statements and actually coming here tonight to see the reality of this. I just want to read out a quick story. So, unfortunately, you won't find this story in mainstream media. Very interesting. You'll see the stockpiles of bodies over in India that weren't even people who died of COVID, probably starvation or something. But I'll just read out a little story here. This is 2 more little angels taken by the jabs. Just 12 minutes from where I live at the Gold Coast. Bet you won't hear about this on the 5:30, 6 p.m. news. Below is the gist of the story. Extract from when it looks like a tweet by Crystal Lee Candy. This is so crazy. I actually know this person. She's a very lovely lady and her 2 babies passed away. I'm so sorry, hun, and I'm here for you if you need me. Yesterday at Pacific Pines Medical Centre, 9:20 a.m. A mum of 3 young girls was attending to have her girls vexed for COVID. I added the words incorrectly just in case. The girls were aged 6 and 10. While I was waiting in the waiting room, the girls came back out of the room after they'd been injected to wait 20 minutes to ensure that they'd be all right. Within 10 minutes, one of the younger girls' hands and face suddenly tightened. Her neck muscles were straining and she started convulsing. She was uncontrollable. The nurse screamed for Dr. Wilson Chin. Say, you're the vaccine stand, doctor. Do something. Then not more than 30 seconds later, the girl, aged about 9, did exactly the same thing. Violent convulsions. The mum was totally distraught. She was screaming in despair. The doctors could do nothing. All the mum could say, I am sorry, I am sorry. Don't know what happened to the third young girl, but this makes me so angry, I just cried. I looked up at Dr. Wilson Chin, and yes, he practiced at the Pacific Pines Medical Centre at Shop 8 Pacific Pines Town Centre. 1 Pitchin Way, Pacific Pines, 4211. Every Premier of the state should know about this and know that the number of young children that have actually been murdered by these injections. So when I was 18 years of age, my mum was in intensive care. She had a stroke, and so my best friend of all people said we should go out and have a drink, get you out of the situation, clear your head a bit. He got home after the clubs that morning, got in his van station wagon, in a blackout. He was blind drunk, put it through a pole and died. And so I had to carry this wooden box with his body out at the age of 18. I had to look at his parents' faces carrying out their son. They were burying their son. Then the day he was just a boy. He was only 18. You know what I mean? So the reality of this, what people are saying this pandemic, I run a men's program here in town called Man Up. At the end of the day, COVID-19 isn't going to kill the majority of our men. The reality of what kills a lot of our men, so the stats are the biggest killer for our men between the age of 15 and 45 is suicide. Oh, good idea. Let's create a lockdown. So the number one cause that influences people to end up taking their life to suicide is isolation. Great idea. So I just ask that everyone tonight really think about the impacts of what they're doing, because my auntie was a foster care, still is a foster care, been a foster care most of her life. She's fostered hundreds of kids in her lifetime. She's in her 50s. Now, some of these children are special needs foster kids, so they were actually born with fetal alcohol syndrome. I don't know if anyone knows what that's like or the impacts that has on someone, but the bloke who created this technology, the mRNA technology, Dr. Robert Malone, said that these injections will have irreversible effects on children's organs. That's the reality of it, you know what I mean? I don't know if you've ever worked with or you've tried to help kids that have massive disorders and medical disorders, but it's horrific. So this is what we face. So I thank you for your time, and please consider what all the statements have been said here tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Charles. Thank you. Do you have any more public statements at all? Thank you. Can you please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please? Thank you.
My name is Bernice Davidson, and I live in number 75 Red Bank Road. This last week, I buried 3 of my aunties for taking the jab, and they just ended up with cancer and they died. And tomorrow, my daughter in Melbourne goes to the hospital for some heart problem. And she is one of the most healthiest people I know. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this to let you know that one day when one of your people falls down, that blood will be upon your hands. We have been born free. We have lived a life of freedom. And we expect you, each and every one of you, to uphold the God-given freedom that has been given to each and every one of you. And don't, just because somebody is forced to take the vaccine and somebody is forced to do that because they have to go to work, even that blood is upon your hands if anything happens to them. Why don't you, as councillors, you are the people that we voted for, and it is by the people, for the people, and you have to stand for each and every one of us and be counted not only in this town of Port Hedland, but also for the whole of Western Australia. We have a crackpot who keeps changing the rules all the time. The mandates are put for a season at a time, and then they go around changing it. Don't you think that something's wrong with him? Maybe he took the vax and it's affecting his brains. So why don't all of you guys, why don't you all stand up for a change for God and country? We are one. We are Australians, no doubt. I came from Singapore and I've lived here for about 30 over years. And I know I love this country. This is my country. I love this people, every one of you. I'm a Christian. I'm born a Christian. And my God gave me freedom to choose whether I wanted Jesus or not. But I did choose Jesus because I had the freedom to choose. What about you guys sitting here? You have children. You have families. Do you want to see them falling dead? Haven't you read the research? Haven't you read what the eminent virologists and all the other doctors have come out trying to say? Why can't you open your eyes and see that they are chasing the money? Follow the money, my friends, and you'll know what is happening. Why people are all sitting around asking you to be vaxxed. One vaccination. When I was young, I took one for polio, one for this, one for that. But how come now, suddenly, you have to take 3 vaccinations and the 4th one is around the corner? Can't you wake up? Where is your mind? Has your mind been twisted because you have taken the vax? Or can't you see there is the mRNA spike that is one day going to affect you? Why don't you do the research? I am just a simple lady, but I do a lot of research. I know a lot of doctors, and they've all told me, don't take the vax because I'm over 50 and I don't need to fall down dead one day knowing that I've taken the vax, that people have told me, eminent immunologists have told me. And my sister was the top pathologist of Canberra Hospital. Do you know that? And I come from a background of people who are all medical. My daughter-in-law is the top hematologist in the Canberra Hospital. She knows what she's doing. And many morticians have come up to say that they've found blood clots in all the dead corpses. So why are you so blind? What's the matter? Wake up! Port Hedland is a beautiful place. It's a beautiful country and God-given wealth to these people. Why do you want to destroy it by upsetting all these people who love this city, who have come here from all over? Why are you so afraid of Mark McGovern, the clown, who doesn't know his left hand from his right hand?
Thank you.
You know, as a mother, as an aunt, as a grandmother, I am pleading for my family, just as all of you have families, my friend. Why don't you stand up? Why don't you stand up for righteousness? Why don't you look to your God for your help instead of looking to man like McGovern? Why don't you pray and say, God, what shall I do for my people? They have elected me. They have put me in this place. And I am accountable to everyone who has elected me and put me in this place. You didn't come here by your own accord. You were elected representatives of this town. And this town loves you, cares for you. God gave me words the other day. And I rang everyone, most of you. And I also sent messages to most of you because God spoke into my heart and said that the blood of the people will be upon your hands and your head if you don't stand up for such a time as this. And I'm warning you, my people. I'm warning you. I love you all. I'm a Christian. I love my neighbor as myself. And today I'm telling you, be very careful when you vote. Stand up for your people, and God will stand for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any more public statements at all? Thank you. Can you please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please? Thank you.
Yes, my name is Joan Lever, and thank you, Mayor Carter, for being here, and all the rest of you. As a person, we all have a duty of care. The duty of care has to be displayed by the powers you've got. Every one of you, you have a conscience. God has given you a conscience. And that conscience will go back to God. My trade is a primary school teacher, and for 2 years I've been out of a job because I am unvaxxed. I don't care to get this vax. Who wants it? Everybody's dying. Everybody's getting sick. And who's caring about this? Who's listening? We need you all to listen. And I'm grateful that you're all here today, listening to all of us. Sometimes I like to be with my primary school kids. They do what I ask them to do nicely, and they show respect. Are you all showing respect for us? Here we are, trying our best to please you. With this COVID that's happening, when it first came out, did they really tell you what's in it? Did they? And if you do know, what are you doing about it? You've got to do something. We have to protect our future. And our future is abolishing this mandate. It can't go on. Look at all the people dying, getting sick. And the whole world is turned upside down because who's doing what? Mark McGowan, he's very happy where he is. What about us? What about all the people here? They've come here because they're not happy. They're not happy with what's happening. Like the last lady said, you've got children, you've got family. What's going to happen one day if you get a phone call? Oh, sorry, but your husband, he fell down through the COVID. Your wife, she's gone. Your baby's gone. What are you going to do then? You'll be looking for all the people here to help you. We the people have come here tonight to get that mandate. And so the onus is upon all of you here. I'll be so glad to get my freedom back, your freedom back. And like the lady said before, God has given us a freedom. I happen to be a Christian myself. And I go by what the Bible says. Now, in most of the countries around the world, where do they get the law from? From the 10 Commandments. And I know it's been abolished in some places, but it's still there. You just can't go and kill somebody, and that's what's happening now. We have got a duty of care, and we must abide by this. We are civilised people. We are supposed to be free people, not just living in from day to day and, oh, the next door neighbour has passed away. This next door neighbour's passed away. I happen to be an Aboriginal. This is my country. And if you really want to know something, when Captain Cook came here, he didn't do the right thing. So you all will know this because I went to law school because I wanted to be a lawyer to help the families, but because I got asthma so bad, I had to leave. There are times in our lives where we have to stand up. Whether we like it or not, we have to stand up. And if I was in power, I would tell you all to stand up, even if you've got to stand up against me. Stand up for your rights. We all got rights. And we don't always have to follow the state laws. There's the Commonwealth laws there as well. Please, open your hearts. Open your hearts to what we're asking. All the people here, we've come here especially to do that. And I'm praying that you all will listen. And you know, God is a giver of love. He's a giver of compassion. He's a giver of many things. And there are times when I talk to him. I'm going to talk to him tonight as well and tell him, you've got to get to the councillors. You've got to get to their conscience. You've got to get to their duty of care to the people that they represent. You've got to do something. And most of the time when I do ask the Lord to do something, he normally does. You just got to repent of your sins and ask him. Like I said, he's a loving God. That's why he made the 10 Commandments, so we can all live peacefully. That's the main reason the commandments were there, for peace to all people. Mayor Carter, please help the people. We are all under you and all the councillors. Now, I'm sure sometimes when Mayor Carter brings something forward, do all of you agree? Don't be like Dumb and Dumber. You don't always agree because you're all different. We're all different. We're all unique. And that's what we've got to do. We think clearly about what's happening. We want to push forward with the mandate gone, all the mandates. Let us be free again. So I'll just say thank you, councillors, for all coming. Mayor Carter, thank you.
Thank you, John. Any more public statements at all? Thank you. Can you please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please? Thank you.
My name is Rose Shatforth. I live on 23 Huxtable Crescent, South Hedland. I've been in this town for 20 years. Recently, in February, I had to go to Perth to have an operation. I didn't have the vax. I had the operation, stayed in Perth for 2 weeks, then came home. Then I had some sick family back home, at Broome. I went there. I ended up having the COVID. I was in isolation for a week in the hotel. And every time, it only took me 2 days. It was just an ordinary flu to me, what we get every year. But the thing is, I didn't suffer like everybody's supposed to be suffering when they have the vax. And I hope you all realise this vax is killing people, just through coercion. And I'm saying it because I'm a Christian too, and I want to speak the truth. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Do you have any more public statements at all? Thank you. Please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please.
My name's Ryan O'Connell. I live at Unit 2, 60A Acacia Way, South Hedland. Council members, traditional landowners and the community of Port Hedland. I come before this council again to make one last plea. To each and every member to think about these motions and what they're really about. And not only what they're about, but what they're going to mean to the town of Port Hedland. I ask that you think about this because it's not about what it is, it's about what it can become. Now, you've all heard our stories through our speeches and how these mandates have affected our lives. Whether you're jabbed or unjabbed, it doesn't really matter at this point because everyone, yourselves included, you've all been affected by these mandates. Everyone's rights have been stripped to some extent. Now, whether it was you weren't allowed to share in the celebration of a family member getting married, birthdays, visiting family or holidaying interstate or overseas, simple things like going to church, socialising in restaurants with friends, catching up with mates in your favourite pub, even going to the gym. To more life-changing moments like losing the ability to keep your job and earn for your family, or even attending a funeral of a loved one. At some point, you were told you will isolate, you will wear masks, you will social distance, you will take this jab, you will do as we say. Everyone's been affected. Every business in town, including the big mining companies, have all been affected. Whether it's been through the loss of staff, experience in the field, a drop in revenue and customers. Businesses have had to close, unable to reopen due to the restrictions. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of good people have left our town and a lot more are hanging on by a thread. Now, we as a people should not be dictated to by what is supposed to be a democratic government. Neither should this council of Port Hedland. If what the government was doing was lawful, then there would never have been the need to put these mandates in place. If Mark McGowan and the state government had provided the so-called scientific evidence, requested on multiple occasions from multiple sources, and I quote the Ben Falconer case as one of them, he and the State Health Minister wouldn't be getting challenged in court. Is it not our right to be informed? Why is he going to such great lengths to hide the evidence from us? If he had nothing to hide, where is the evidence? Mark McGowan would never have to use the dirty tactics that he's so far employed to coerce the people into taking this jab. I ask the council members and the community of Port Hedland this: is COVID not the threat that it was made out to be? Or is it simply following the directives from Mark McGowan and the state government? Because as a state, we're recording many more cases of COVID a day compared to when COVID first came out. Why are their mandates miraculously easing now? And just on that, with the government easing the mandates to a degree, I've got to be honest, I'm pretty happy about it. But this is not the time to stop. If this council votes for our motions, you'll be looking after both sides of our divided community, the jabbed and unjabbed. Taking the state government to court is about getting the mandates dropped and allowing every individual to choose what it is they want to do for themselves. It's so important. Sometimes you'll never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Our rights, your rights, are in jeopardy of being permanently taken away. At any point, the mandates can be forced on the people again. This must stop here because it won't be long before the new agenda is pushed from the government. And it really does scare me thinking about what other freedoms they're going to take away. I really think it's time to heal and make the community whole again. It's time for our lives to return to normal. Our freedom to live, work, enjoy our lives as we choose to is the right and should be of every individual of this country. That's what our motions are about, the freedom to choose. Now I'm just going to finish. As I previously stated, I am a father, a parent like most of you on the council. And I think about what it is that I try to teach my daughter. And it's quite funny because I tend to read a lot of children's books. And this actually rang out true, and you probably already all know it because you've probably read it to your kids. But I want you to think about it. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's just not. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Any more public statements at all? Yes, sorry, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Johnny Ashman. I live at 11 Spoonbill Crescent in South Hedland. I'd firstly like to thank the Kariyarra, past, present and emerging, as this is their country that we walk on. I'd like to thank all the members of council for attending this important special meeting of council. Thank you. And last, I'd like to give a huge thanks to all the people that have worked so hard and supported we, the people, for the electors, the shop owners, the business owners, the general public, and the quiet supporters, which there's many of them. Without none of them, we wouldn't have got it this far. It wouldn't have been possible. So I'd like to say thanks to all of you. I really appreciate it. It's been well, there's not much more weight that I can put to this that hasn't already been said. But I would like to say this. I've spoken to most of you as members of council. Some of you are probably sick of hearing from me, but I don't mind having a yarn. Anyway, the majority of you have personally told me with your words that you are 100% supportive of what we're doing here. 100%. Said to me personally. Even you, Mayor Peter, have said to me that you did not support these mandates. You thought they were wrong. You took your jab so you could continue working and continue your role as mayor. These are the words that you said to me. You said you told me this to my face, and that your wife wouldn't be taking it because she was still breastfeeding your child. I would like to think these words were the truth, and you just wasn't making words, mate. My grandfather gave me an interpretation of integrity when I was a young lad, and it was this: your word is your worth, and you're worth your word. Simple. Simple philosophy to live by. We've just had the Anzac Day recently to remember our forefathers that paid a price so that we, the people, could have the freedom to choose our own destiny, free from persecution, free from discrimination, and free from tyranny, lest we forget. Lest we forget. I will finish off with this. I wonder if there has been one research dollar spent in seeing what impact this experimental drug has had on our community. $1. For our general health, our mental health, our moral health of our community. Has there been one research dollar spent to see what this impact has had on the community? You members of council know what's right. You can feel it in your gut. Listen to your gut and do what's right. And help us, help all of us, and this tyranny, and the persecution, and the discrimination, and get our once great country back. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Do you have any more public statements? Thank you. Can you please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please? Thank you.
My name is Doris Teufel. I'm living in 46 Amor Street. I came out here in 2003 from Germany, and I thought that I'm in a democratic country. When I became Australian, there were 6 questions of the 20 questions about democracy and freedom. I think with this COVID, which is, by my impression, more a scare campaign than anything else, because I'm not scared about a virus. We all had the measles, we had the chicken pox and all that, and we made it through. What I'm scared about is the way how our rights are getting taken away. I grew up and went to school after the war in Germany, and our teacher told us, beware, be aware about the beginnings. If someone starts to take away your rights, stand up and speak up, and not just take it for granted just because someone thinks he's doing the right thing. Think for yourself, use your common sense, and that's what's missing here. I think a lot of Australians never been taken away freedom in any kind, and you don't even know how it is to fight for your freedom, to get it back and be free and do what you want to do and make your decisions. And that's really, really what hates this mandate stuff, and that there's one person who can tell you and change the law from one day to the next without even asking the court. If it's a democratic country and we have the court there, why don't you go to court if you are really believing in the system? Why don't you ask the court? They should do the right thing. So go. Why do you change a law overnight just because Clive Palmer wanted to come into the country? And then just in a sudden, there is no court, no question, no opposition starting and speaking up. So, and that's what I don't like with these mandates. I'm not scared about COVID. I couldn't go over to Germany and see my mum. My mum passed away because of this stuff. But that's all in nearly every family. But think about the future. We want to be a democratic country, and then stand up for that. Be there and say what you want, and not what someone tells you to be, and what someone tells you to do. Just stand up and be that.
Thank you. Your public statements are all. Thank you. Please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, g'day. Hey, my name is George Rubin. I'm a Torres Strait Islander. I came across from Townsville in '79 to the Pilbara, down to Perth, and then back up to work early 2000s. Railway worker, train driver. Recently terminated because of my stance. So I took that with peace. It was all good. And the reason that I'm up here is not much of a public speaker, but I made that decision, and whatever decision that came about in regards to my lifestyle, my income, the only reason why I had peace in my heart was because of Jesus. It was my conviction, my faith. He gave me that peace. So losing my job, going this hard route, it's all because of Jesus. So what I want to do here today is, or tonight, is just to make a statement, but more of a prayer for you guys, just because you guys are in that leadership role, the responsibility. I mean, you guys are being elected by the people, and it's massive. It's pretty massive, you know, this what's happening tonight, and just your roles. You know, you guys are in a leadership role, and that's pretty big. I see that as a respect thing as well for you, Mayor, and for all the councillors. So I just want to say a quick prayer for you guys, you know, just to cover you. Heavenly Father, Lord, as I stand here, on behalf of myself, on behalf of you, Lord, I just want to cover every single person here in this chamber, from the Mayor down to his councillors. I cover them, each and every one of them, Lord, with the blood of Jesus, to give them strength, courage, because, Lord, you are based on truth and righteousness. Help them with their stance, Lord. Minister to their hearts, that they may make the correct decision, and to stand for justice, stand for truth, and to stand for righteousness. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Your public statements are all. Thank you, Keith. Please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
My name is Maren Browning, and I'm at 233 College Drive. I'm here tonight. The last couple of times I've stood in front of you, I've actually been reading a letter. I've stood by and watched everybody tell their story. And what I'm about to talk to you about may trigger some people, but I feel it's really important. Consent to me means more than anything. And the reason for that is, over 20 years ago, my consent was taken away from me and I was raped. No choice in that, but that day I turned around and decided that consent was mine over my body and mine only. My choices, nobody else's. On top of that, being raped, I fell pregnant. Yay. I quickly went and got the morning after pill. 6 weeks later, I was pregnant. The shame and the trauma that I endured took me 2 years for it to come out. In debilitating panic attacks. Hence, whenever you see me when there's a mask mandate on, I do not wear a mask. Little did I know that that act would bring me here today, in front of you all, telling you my personal story in a small town where I will walk with my head held high with the fact that that had happened to me, because I no longer fear the shame of what happened to me. The reason why I bring up this story is because it wasn't my choice to have that happen to me, but it was certainly my responsibility of how I dealt with it. We've all had choices that we've had to make. And we haven't had to like what we had to do. It's made us uncomfortable. I'd like to apologise to you, Mayor Carter, for being a little bit aggressive to you earlier in the day. But that is not personal. It is just my passion. So please forgive me for that. And for everyone who just saw that on display, I apologise. I want to talk about two things that come out. Informed consent and duress. Before I go on, I just want to say that rape is a violation, and so are these mandates a violation on our human rights. Informed consent, which we all probably have heard this before, but I actually went and got online today and looked it up. It's permission granted in full knowledge of the possible consequences. Typically, that which is given by a patient to a doctor for treatment with knowledge of the possible risks and benefits. I myself haven't been vaccinated, and I applaud every one of you that have had to make that choice. It wouldn't have been easy, it was uncomfortable, just as it was for me not to choose not to have that vaccine. Did you ever get the respect from your doctor, patient relationship, the answers of the risks and benefits for you to have that injection? You don't have to answer that, but I'm sure you can answer that yourself. Duress is the other word, which actually is kind of good to follow on from informed consent. Duress describes the act of using force, false imprisonment, coercion, threats, or psychological pressure to compel someone to act contrary to their wishes or interests. Who here, I'm going to raise my hand, who here actually had their injection under their wishes and interests? Or were you actually coerced and threatened for losing your job? Psychological pressure? compel every single one of you to think about certain things that have happened to you that was not your choice or made you uncomfortable. Did you die from it? No. And a lot of us haven't died from the COVID. One thing in life is we are destined to all die, but it's in our time and it should be on our terms. And we should be healthy and we should be free to be able to live healthy. And our choices are our choices. And I know tonight you've got a big choice to make and it's going to make you really uncomfortable. But you know what? It could make you comfortable. It could make every single one of us comfortable. And the uncomfortable feeling won't last long. And if we don't do anything about this now, we are going to be very uncomfortable in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more public statements at all? No more public statements? Oh, there is. Okay, thank you. Please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
My name's Brenton Johansson and my address is Pippingower Quarry, Port Hedland. The last 2 months I've been travelling around the countryside with my family and it's been an emotional time. And now I've been doing it because I wanted an understanding of what's been going on within the community because I'm going to run to stand for the electorate of Durack. And so I wanted an understanding of all the areas because you can't just represent one town. Now, when I look at it, when you live in your one town, you're in a little fishbowl. You've only got an understanding of what's going on around you, but throughout the state, it's the ocean. So by travelling around, it's allowed me to see all the stories, all the things that are going on, and the breakdown within families, the divide within communities. I tell you, it's hard to stand up and speak out. That's why bullying goes unnoticed. For every one of these people here, there's 100 people behind them. There are so many people. Bullying has just been rife through this whole situation. People don't speak out because you speak out and you get further bullied, you get beaten down, you get abused, you get name called. It doesn't end. That's why people commit suicide. People go and take their own lives. Teens, youth, even older people take their own lives because of bullying. And something like what's gone on the last couple of months since the mandates, it's beyond bullying. It's just the coercive control with this whole situation has been immense. And if you don't stand for these people that are willing to speak now, these are your dollies. These are do it for Dolly. Like, these are the people standing up, voicing their opinions, and there's 100 people behind every one of these people here that are out there that have things to say, but they won't speak up. They won't speak up now about what's going on, even though, to this point, if you've looked at all the data that's out there now and all the things I've seen while travelling around, all the people that I've seen, whether they've had it or not, the outcome has been the same. If you are old and frail, you are going to die, most likely, from this. If you are fit and healthy, you are going to survive and you're going to live through this. It's been a result that's been the same through all the things. There's divide within families, there's divide within friendships. It's something that I'm glad that I chose to stand. I'm glad that I got out there. I'm glad I went to all these different towns. I've gone into towns where they've changed their business structures to allow them and their staff to avoid having to get it. There's hardware stores that are suddenly called emporiums because emporium didn't fall under the mandate category. That's the passion within some people within towns. They've found loopholes to avoid falling under the mandate categories. So I implore you, what you've seen the last 2 years, does it truly sit right within you? What you've seen, what you now know, what's going on? Everything that's going on, does it sit right within you? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any more public statements at all? Thank you. Please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
G'day, my name's Chris Flesser. I'm from Woomera, the Shire of Port Hedland. I wanted to ask questions and I'm going to continue to ask them, although I'm only allowed to do a statement. Which health department provides the advice for the council? And then who specifically provides the advice? Can you supply those documents? In the town of Port Hedland, who does the risk assessment around the mandate policy? And with that, can you provide relevant documents? And then which individual signs off on the mandate specifically within the town of Port Hedland? And then finally, is there a third-party contractor, consultant, yada yada, who advise the council whether the mandate policy is good, bad or indifferent? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we have any more public statements at all? Thank you. Can you please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please? Thank you.
Selena Dixon, Unit 8, Number 9, Grant Place, Port Hedland. I just want to thank all of you for coming and attending, and I'm sorry, Mayor Carter, if I or two seemed aggressive before. I imagine if you're all in these positions, then I assume you've taken the opportunity to have empathy to put yourself in other people's situation, which is why I asked the question I did. And I do believe people are inherently good, and I do want to acknowledge you guys are under extreme pressure. Mayor Carter, I don't think we should be asking if we can believe in you. I think you need to be asking if you can believe in yourself, because a lot of your answers tonight have more or less come across like your hands are tied. That's not why you're a mayor. Standing up isn't easy, we know that. But you took this job, and it's your time to stand up to the plate. Our councillors have tirelessly taken our calls and listened to our stories, and I believe a lot of them are on the right side of history. I basically know that throughout history there are a lot of atrocities that happen and none of them ever got fixed through following orders or listening to those that didn't care about us. As Penny have said, it should be ruled by the people for the people. Despite how big the fight may be, I know that we cannot win it divided. We can only do it if we stand together. This attitude of being complacent with dictatorship has spread harder than this virus. I understand that that's why it's been on top of you in your workplace, but it shouldn't be in a position where we are around to serve others. In my job as a family support worker, I was there to serve others and empower them. I too got asked to dictate over other people and coerce my clients into this jab. Your job shouldn't be having to deal with this. It's unfair that you're in this situation in the first place. It is because of an unjust governing, and we know that this government are not acting as a proper government. So you are faced with a moral compass and a challenging situation where you're having to make a difficult choice. So was I. I lost my job, I went on stress leave, I was casual, I was unpaid, I lost my house, I lost my dogs, I lost everything. I was in a bundle of debt I couldn't afford, but there was no way that I thought I had the right to tell any parent that they need to take an injection when it's being told and transparent to me that if they don't, DCP could take their kid. That's extremely stressful pressure for someone who's pretty new in that job to have that over their head. I would never want bloodshed over me because I've coerced someone into it, let alone would I want it to be my responsibility why someone could no longer have a child within their custody and tear apart families. Now, this country apologised for the stolen generation a while ago, but since that, the number of these children in care has tripled. I went into early intervention style type of work because I saw firsthand in DCP and transitional housing the damage being caused by the number of children being removed and then they're just getting lost within the system. Now, if they're going to use this as another excuse to dictate over our First Nations people, predominantly the people that I was working with, who deserve every right to not have to trust their government that has a history of genocide, segregation, stealing their land, and apologises for something that we keep doing when saying sorry should mean we don't do it again. Why should I then expect them to trust this needle that their government is pushing? When I firsthand told my boss, let alone, so I stopped before the mandate affected me. I stopped because of the unjust thing of not wanting to dictate it over parents. It wasn't about me, it was about me not being able to take part in doing that to someone else. When I told her that I had friends, though, that had been harmed by this, a mum who could no longer work, I actually knew someone dead who had died days afterwards, her response was, it's 1 in 300,000 people. You're going to have to get it soon too. Get over it. She's a CEO of that company. That is not how you should speak to an employee. And it's not this dictatorship that spread, this apathy that has spread amongst us on how companies are treating their employees and how we're treating each other is absolutely not okay. And we have the ability to change it. You guys do. And I thank that you're all here, and I thank that you're in these positions, and I know that you're dealing with all these other issues within our town that you clearly care about. But if your attitude to anything is, oh, it's too bigger than you, you shouldn't be here. It's not bigger than you, because the people that we elect in these positions are to face things that we feel are too bigger than we. If we face everything with, oh, that's bigger than us, it's state, it's this, we're never going to get anywhere, and we may as well just be in some communism country that's where we're going. And no, stop calling it Australia now, because I'm not proud to be Australian for that reason. Well, I never was anyway. I'm not at the moment. Anyway, so that's why I called it dictate when they asked me to coerce this onto them. You can't hold someone hostage with that. Every year we honour Anzacs with lest we forget. Acknowledging all sides of our history is important, including the dark sides. Our First Nations shouldn't be expected to forget their history of this country either. Basically, how you vote today is going to define what side of history you are on. Today it will show us if you are the brave and courageous people we think you are, if you're going to be successfully ruled over and fall victim to the tactics of bullies at the cost of your core values. It will decide if you do support the God-given free will that everyone's spoken about, and I know many of you are Christian. So I think that's something you really need to take into account, because God himself would not even mess with free will. Are you willing to let this to be stolen from your fellow brothers and sisters, or are we going to treat this as the community we need to be? Please don't allow your children to look back in history and ask what happened, because that's how I grew up. Reading about things in history is looking back going, why didn't anyone do anything? Well, we are these people. Together, the town has showed they want you to do something. And I'm really, really proud of all those that showed up. And I'm really, really happy that you're all here and grateful for that. But now the next step is doing something. And we have that ability right now. As I said last time, I have a friend in Broome. He was young, fit and healthy. I worked with him at DCP. He doesn't drink. He eats really healthy, everything. 2 days after his shot, common story now, we all know what pericarditis and myocarditis is. It was 2 words that I didn't know the meaning of prior to this shot. He went into the hospital, got diagnosed with it, got told it's because he's Indigenous. They will not report it onto the TGA. Can you imagine how many of this is not being reported now, and how that is not a representation of our healthcare system becoming blatantly complacent with an extreme form of discrimination? His family are now so desensitised to what they're saying, even they're gaslighting him. If you are okay with a healthcare system that gaslights, we've already spoken about some heavy gaslighting in the room, and I'm really proud of someone in here that spoke about something really difficult. It's a really common thing that happens where people's consent is taken from them, and a lot of those people are gaslighted as well. It happens everywhere, but we are now having it happen by our healthcare professionals, where we go to get treated when we are sick, not to be treated as criminals, not somewhere where we should be fighting for our rights, bullied to them, or like coerced into them. It's not something to be bargained for. As we've said, it is God-given, and with great power comes responsibility, and that is why you are in these positions, to represent us wholeheartedly and use your heart today. You all have children or grandchildren. Think about their future. This is bigger than money. This is bigger than bullies. It's bigger than what anyone thinks of you. If we don't turn this around today, you're looking at a very, very dark future, which is what I saw a glimpse of and gave up my money and gave up everything, because I would not take part in history repeating itself and using anything to strip away more rights of any group of people. And now we are all in this together, and your community needs your help. So please stand up on behalf of us. There's no 2 ways about it. We need you to look within our hearts, within your hearts, and do what's right. And I think you know exactly what that answer is. And you need to believe in yourself because you are capable of it. It's not about us. It's about you knowing you can be strong enough to stand up to these guys that are making you feel small. Why should you not stand up or be quiet or bow down to anyone who makes you feel small? We are all bigger than that. We are God's people. We are empowered people, and we have the power to create change in a better world. That's why we're in this world, to treat each other with respect, kindness, empathy, respect each other's choices, and a community is not a community until we walk in unison, and neither will be this country. So this country can set the example for the rest of Australia, and you have the power to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any more public statements at all? Thank you. Can you please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please? Thank you.
John. My name is Lee Gibbs of 10 Abalone Way, South Hedland. I'm speaking for the children tonight. I'd like to ask you all to think about a child or children, whether they're big or small, someone you love, and picture their face. Tonight will determine whether their future is one in which they govern their own bodies or whether the state does. We must not hand them a world in which they are forced to line up for injections or any other medical procedure in order to earn a living and participate in society. Imagine if generations ago our forefathers had forfeited our bodily autonomy so they could continue earning a buck, or because they were afraid to stand for what's right. Where would that put us now? Surrendering our blood on demand? A kidney, perhaps? This is our opportunity, in fact, our duty, to defend and secure the bodily sovereignty and free will of our descendants. And secure it we must. We owe it to our children and to all those to come. Tonight, when you vote, please do not allow fear to enter the equation. Be bold and courageous. I ask you to vote with your hearts tonight, as if you'll meet your Maker one day. At the end of all this, will He be pleased with you? If you act with this thought in mind, you'll make the right choices for humanity. As you think about your children, I'll leave you with a verse for them from Luke chapter 17, verse 2. It were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and that he cast into the sea than that he should offend one of these little ones. Thank you all and God bless.
Thank you. Do you have any more public statements at all? Thank you. Everybody, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
Good evening again. So my name is Adrian McRae. I'm from 27 Leahy Street in Wedgfield. I had a speech I spoke at the special electors meeting that I wanted to repeat because the minutes that came after my speech basically said that I made mention of big pharmaceuticals and big profits. Hopefully most of you here know that that was probably the least of what I said. What I'd like to talk about is community. As you, our represented electors or electives up there, sit down in your on your bench looking down to us, I need you to feel that you are part of our community. There's people behind us here will support you and will die for you. These people here are passionate people. We would give up our jobs, we will give up everything in our lives to not be told that our freedoms are gone and your body now belongs to us. I cannot get my head around a government, state government, federal government. I mean, this is happening all around the world. This is not just here. But our governments, our Therapeutic Goods Administrator in Australia and the Food and Drug Administration in the USA was given documents by the big pharmaceutical giants that were being forced these injections upon us by. They told our governments that these jabs kill 4 people for every one they save. 4 people. the ex-vice president globally of Pfizer for 17 years, the global head of respiratory disease and infectious disease, Mike Yeadon, says for every one child these injections save, they kill a minimum of 50, more likely 100. As these guys behind me have said tonight, you guys all have families. It's even blind Freddie can see that there's a reason they're hiding all the medical advice that they needed to force these injections on us, forced upon us by unelected bureaucrats, be they chief health officers, or in some states it's the Minister for Health. That's an oxymoron. As Selena just mentioned, we're experiencing ridiculously poor health after these jabs which were supposed to prevent infection, supposed to prevent transmission, which now we know, even the head of the CDC in the USA and the Food and Drug Administration head are admitting you're more likely, and the science is telling us, at least 8 times more likely to catch this infection if you've been double jabbed, and it's far higher than that if you're triple jabbed. I just looked while I'm sitting here in the audience listening to these wonderful speakers before me at the Therapeutic Goods Administration database of adverse event notifications. 125,000 Australians seriously injured by these jabs so far. 837 dead. These are not reported by families or by conspiracy theorists. These are reported by their doctors. Doctors that stood up to AHPRA under threat of losing their licence and reporting these injuries. We know these injuries are being underreported by as much as 90%. So what are we looking at? More likely 10,000 dead Australians. I personally know 12. The cleaner in my business in Wedgefield, GBTK, many of you may have seen it around. Her mum was dead 2 days after the jab. They called her death a COVID death. Another one of my staff, his dad's sister, was dead before dinner on the same day she took the jab. One of the official AstraZeneca deaths. Good friends here in town have died. Down at FMG Cloudbreak, where a bunch of my team were working in October, just as the mandates were starting to roll out and people were starting to get nervous, had to get the jab. 3 dead on site within 1 week. I've worked on construction sites in mining up here for 14 years this month. I've seen 1 death by accident on site, and I've been on other sites where there was a death, and I know how seriously these deaths are taken. But why are we not hearing about these deaths on sites that are coming from this alleged heart attacks that happen to be coincidence? This is insane. It's absolutely insane. It's nothing more than state-sanctioned murder. And that's a horrible thing to think of my government. I couldn't have ever thought of my government in this way before now, but there is no other way to put it. From January to April of this year, we've lost more people to COVID in Australia than the last 2 years of the outbreak, with a 91 or 95% injection rate nationally. It's obvious what's happening. We know what is happening. The doctors, the top doctors in the world, the inventor of the messenger RNA technology, Robert Malone, is telling us this is killing our innate immunity, in particularly our CD8 T killer cell immunity. So we're going to see accelerated cancers, especially in children. It's not we're going to, we are seeing. Another thing, just the myocarditis that Selena mentioned before. We're seeing 0.1 cases per day across Australia prior to this injection rollout. Now it varies every day from 50 to 80 cases per day. That's 80,000% increase from heart disease. For those of you who don't know, myocarditis diagnosis is a 50% death rate within 10 years, regardless of your age. The only cure for myocarditis is a heart transplant. Where are these hearts going to come from? Now, I can talk all night about the science. I've studied orthomolecular medicine now for the best part of 20 years. But I'm not here to debate the science with you. You guys can work that stuff out for yourself. I know that there is some serious pressure coming down upon you, especially you, Mayor Carter, CEO Carl. You guys have some serious pressure coming down on you. I know you're going to be being forced to make decisions you really don't want to make. But please understand, as I said earlier, these guys behind you will stand up and die for you. But just make the right decision. Please be on the right side of history. Finally, I want to touch briefly on the legal side of what we're dealing with. We've asked you guys to raise a judicial review in the Supreme Court on our behalf, on the town's behalf, but realistically it's on Australia's behalf. There's been 4 judicial reviews, actually there's been 6 that have happened across Australia and New Zealand, remembering New Zealand also operates on common law, the same as we do here in Australia. Now, New Zealand went to the High Court because obviously they don't have states like we do, so it went straight to the High Court. The New Zealand case was brought to the High Court by the policeman. Of course, with Professor Petrovsky's testimony, it was laughed out of court and the mandates were dropped on the policeman. And ultimately, they dropped the mandates across many industries across the country. In New South Wales, there was 2 judicial review cases raised. Unfortunately, both of them were lost because in New South Wales, the Minister for Health has wide, broad powers that can overrule a lot of the questions being asked. In Victoria, there was 1 case brought to the Supreme Court. But of course, as we know, in Victoria now we have a dictator in place that all he had to do was change the acts. He just changed the law to say you can no longer challenge me. That's frightening. If that doesn't frighten every one of you sitting up there in your elected desk, or everyone in this room, or everyone watching this around the world, or anyone anywhere, I don't know if you're obviously not paying attention. The other cases were in South Australia. The police took on, in a judicial review, the mandates in South Australia. Again, the week before it was due to go to court, all the mandates were dropped against the police. The nurses in that case, there was nurses and the police taking the state government to court. The government assumed if they dropped the police, the nurses would be without funds and they would drop their case. Thankfully, the election happened and the nurses continued on their way and they've just finished their case. Unfortunately, we don't yet have a ruling to give you guys a little bit of strength or a little bit of help in making your decision. But that will be decided on within the next 2 weeks, I believe. So where does that leave us? You guys have got to make a decision tonight that is, as you've been told, I don't want to prey on I don't want to pull on heartstrings because too many people before me have done a far better job than I can ever do. But we have a moral obligation and a decision to make that affects all of us in this room. This is not us versus you, this is not you versus us, this is all of us together. You must see us as your equals as much as we've put you in your place through our voting for you. You are really in this, you are just leading this team in this room. And you're going to have to run at some very, very tough opposition. We understand that. But we will stand by you and defend you in every possible way. And please understand, Mayor Carter, Carl, councillors, you'll have to make a tough decision. But understand, I don't care what the Premier or even the Prime Minister throws back at you. You have people behind you that will literally lay down their life for you. And I'm just going to finish on something that I often say in my political tour. As many of you know, I'm also running in this electorate for the federal election for the Great Australian Party. 100,000 Australian soldiers now lay in graves on foreign shores so that we today would not be stopped and asked for our papers. Johnny reiterated on that, but the less we forgot will really ring true tonight. The less we forgot, lest we forget, or did we forget? And I'll leave that with you, and thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Edward. Do you have any more public statements at all? Yes, Gloria, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
It's Gloria Jacob, 76 Sutherland Street, Port Hedland. As you all know, I'm also a candidate for the council elections coming up, so I'm probably going to not do myself the best, left or right, it doesn't matter. The whole point is you've heard some extremely passionate, emotive arguments from the audience behind you. You've heard words such as they will die for you, they will support you. You've heard lots of things that will put duress and pressure on you tonight. It's not what they mean to do, but by the stories, the personal stories, the pain, all of the pressures that you are feeling tonight have come from the real raw emotions and absolute truth and opinions of what people have brought to you today. It's not easy to take on board, and I commend every one of you, and I commend the passion of this group for coming to council and demanding what it is that they believe is right. And I think it's every Australian's right to, in a democratic society, to do exactly what they've done. Absolutely, we are a community that live in Port Hedland, so we have a right to come and speak to you. But you as councillors have a right and a role as well. And as a motive, and as the stories have been told today, you're not judges of whether they are accurate or not. We're here listening as council. If I bring you back to the process tonight is, it's not whether you're voting for choice or what you're voting for freedom. The resolution up there says, and I read it to you very clearly, that you're here, and I'm trying to figure out how we get this party and your part and the council together to actually attend to what it is that the community is asking. Because everything that the community brought to you today makes absolute no reference to the resolution on the board. With all due respect to yourselves, we have to find a way to connect with council on a legislative level whereby your views can be addressed up there. Because everything you said today, so powerful, so true, so emotive, so absolutely no bar, no. Andrew, you are probably the person closest that came to some things that I'll speak to now. You have to find a level to connect with council on a legislative level that allows us to take this further. Because right now, what council has a responsibility to do for this special meeting that's been called is deliberate on the proposed agenda item up there. And the agenda item says two things. It's been recommended that council notes the intent of the petition as attached, which is here, and outcome of the special meeting is held on the 12th of April. Great, that's the first recommendation. Second recommendation is write to the Premier to advise of the council's of the concerns raised at the special meeting of the electors and request a response to these concerns. That's the resolution that we're all here. They're all here to make, unless there's something else that gets put on the table. But what we spoke to was not trying to tell council through resolution to affect what it is that the community wants. And on that level, we, the community here, have to meet council with one or two representatives. Look at the massive amount of people that are here. Clearly, there is a community that feels passionate enough, and everyone's right is something that you should fight for and lay down your life for. And that's what people spoke to today. But I'm not going to espouse that you will have blood on your hands if you decide that this is not the decision that you want to make. That's coercion, that's duress, and that's tough for you guys as community members, parents, you know, workers in the town to make. So I think what we need to do is actually talk about a couple of facts, and that means that, yes, there is a movement in the community that feels very passionate about the rights of choice, and that is undoubted. What we have to think about is there is a judicial review being requested as part of the actual electors' resolutions, which are not on your agenda item. So number one, if you actually wanted to attend to what the community is asking you to do, those resolutions would have been inside of the recommendation, because Andrew's absolutely right. There are reasons for review to be asked. But by the same token, then it comes to the councillors to make a decision as to what the cost of. What the cost has roughly been indicated at $500,000. That's not your pittance coins. This is a local government. So if we're coming as a community to say to local government, we want you to spend X number of dollars, it's got to be in their resolution. They can't just vote on that, because they're going to vote tonight on what I just read out, which is up there. Can you, I don't know where it is, but anyway, it's up there. It's not what we're asking them to do, which is the judicial review and other things. So on that level, we haven't connected. We haven't connected because the resolutions up there that council has to deliberate on has got nothing to do with what the community has been speaking about. So I'm bringing the attention back to what is on the table tonight. So on that level then, if we're asking for a judicial reviews on the election motions 1, 2, and I don't want to read it because I'll probably get shut down because it's too long, but it comes to the third one, which says that the Town of Port Hedland Council direct the CEO to ensure on council approval that this Supreme Court challenge be lodged with the Supreme Court Register XYZ and pay and allocate a budget of $500,000 for the Supreme Court challenge. That is where this council has to think about what your community is requesting and what the cost potential is. Yes, it is to fight for our choice, our rights, but you are a very powerful lobby group. I would love to see you come and stand up to put housing on the ground, go to government, put housing on the ground, fight for youth justice. Where was this group for aged care housing when they blew away all the aged care housing and there's nowhere for people to go? So that passion needs to occur on many levels. But obviously we're talking about our right to choose. But this is what they have to consider when we come to them and say, okay, we want you to go and fight it in the Supreme Court and review it. So on that level, my saying is if you vote for that, there's a no-brainer. Council's going to vote for the recommendations there. But is it what the community is asking for? Well, maybe it's definitely not what the community is asking for. They want you to go full hog. And we haven't brought to the agenda what the community has requested in their electors' resolutions. So, sorry? Yes, exactly. So the agenda item is not actually attending to what electors' special general meeting requested. So on that level, I guess I'm the voice of reason coming back and saying, we need to connect between council and a representative from this group to actually come together to discuss something that we can legislatively work through. Because tonight, what you've got on the table there is not addressing what all the stories. You've heard a lot of amazingly powerful and emotive stories, right or wrong. But what your agenda reflects up there is not what it is that this mass of people have come to ask council of. And please, make no mistake, you are within your own rights. You have a right not to be bullied. You have a right not to be duressed. You have a right not to be coerced. It doesn't mean that You know, this is a free world. You can choose as well. What they're saying to you is they'll stand behind you if you stand for them. But that doesn't mean that. What happens if you don't take that choice? Do you get thrown? Do you get stuff thrown at you? I hope that doesn't happen, because that's not a free world that I'd like to be a community part of. I think we all have a right of choice, and absolutely, I want you to understand that that is not, I'm sure, what this group is saying to you, that, you know, be on the right side of history doesn't mean that you don't have a right to express your opinion either. But, you know, we're all in one community. We all want justice. We all want freedom of choice. We all say that very easily. It's not easy to do. But if everyone has a will to work together, you can come to a level where you can take this forward. But what you're deliberating on tonight doesn't address what this massive amount of community emotion is bringing to you. That's all I'm just referring to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any more public statements at all? Yes, Lorraine, please come forward, state your name and address for the record,
Good
please.
evening, my name's Lorraine Butson at 50 Green Place, South Headland. I would like to thank the Mayor, the councillors and everybody for their time tonight to listen to all the views of our community on our 4 items or 4 motions that were meant to have been up on the board but are actually not there this evening from the meeting on the 12th of April. I would like to turn around and thank everyone. I think everyone's done a fantastic job tonight of presenting everything. One thing, I'm not going to go for too long, but I do believe that I think that I need to turn around and say that this is going to go on for a long time after this decision has been made tonight. But our Premier may only be there for a couple of years. So I think the decision from the councillors has to be that the decision that you are going to make tonight is going to be very, very hard. But we have to remember that Mr McGowan may not be here at the next election, and the decision that is made tonight will go on for a long, long time. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any more public statements at all? Yes, sir. Statement. Yes, if you want to, I'll allow that, yes.
Thank you. Do I need to state my name again?
Yes, please, thank you.
My name is Maren Browning. I live at 225/233 Collier Drive. I'd just like to talk in response to Gloria. Thank you. We are very prepared to work with you guys together. We are a community, and that's why we are here, because we are a community and we want to work together. We don't want to be separated. That's why we're here. We have been separated. A couple of years ago, probably I moved to Headland 12 years ago. I wasn't on the electoral roll, but I chose to be on the electoral rolls because I wanted other people to have the choices that I do, to be able to have the choices that I choose to do, being that I want to have a child, get married. All those things are the reasons why I decided to take my role as an elector to be able to give other people their rights and freedoms to do what they need to do. So I would like just to reply to Gloria. Thank you so much. I think it's a great idea that we actually all work together, 100%. But I also think or believe that as a community, we have the power to really, really make a difference. I consider you all, we are all family, and that's why Headland is our home. And that's all I really want to say, is I think that we make choices and we've got to live by them. But please, please, I'm begging you, if we can get those 4 motions up on there and we can vote on them tonight, is that a possibility?
Is a statement? Is a statement?
Thank you. Is that a statement? Sorry.
This is a statement time, yes.
So I can't ask that question. Okay. Thank you. I just wasn't sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any more public statements at all? No more public statements? Yes, Adrian, yes.
My name's Adrian McRae from 27 Leahy Street, Wedgfield. Just want to say what, continue on what Mez was just saying, and thank Gloria for pointing it out, and Milo also pointed out earlier, so thanks Milo. Of course we're all here, as Gloria said, we're all here to get the motions or the resolutions we put forward on the 12th of April to be voted on by you guys. So everyone's pleas, everyone's cries for help that you heard tonight, please, we beg you as councillors, can someone please raise a motion to bring our resolutions back to the table for debate tonight? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is any more public statements at all? Okay, I'll allow one more thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Carter. I just want to say one more thing in response to what Gloria said as well, when you were questioning where a lot of us were when it came to other issues. There's a lot of people here that actually work in those industries. They're either nurses, carers, teachers. This is your community that work in that. Without those, none of those issues you want to fight for, you don't have the people working for them. So sorry that a lot of us may not have been here in the past, and I'm sure with great freedom, the price of that is great vigilance, and all of us will vigilantly be involved in everything within the community to make sure our net rights are never taken from us again if we win this. We will all heavily be involved, happily, as well as be working in our industries again where we can care, support, educate, look after your children, help in the hospitals, be your dentist, help fix your cars. We are your community, and we're the ones, many of us, who have lost our jobs and not been able to be in those roles. So without us being able to stand up and work in those roles, there's no point us coming here and talking in council if we can't take part in the community in the first place. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, being there no more statements, I will now close public statement time at 7:53 p.m. Thank you.
Through the chair, if I may, just have to say, Pete,
Yes.
can we adjourn for a 2-minute comfort break, please?
Yes, certainly. Yeah, it's okay.
Yes, please.
It's okay. Yeah. So we'll come back at 8:05. Thank you. Are there any questions from elected members? Yes, Councillor Gillingham.
Yes, thank you. I have a couple of questions on the agenda. First of all, the 4 motions which were carried at the agenda at the special electors meeting on the 12th of April, and then a floor motion was put down for on the 27th of April to have the motions brought to and voted on at a special meeting of council, which is tonight. Was there any particular reason why they didn't actually go into the officer's recommendation?
That will come up under 9.11. Okay, thank you.
And with that then, the 4 motions which are with the, in our agenda item, in the agenda item tonight, can I ask through the chair, are they a true and correct 4 motions as put at the electors meeting on the 12th of April?
To the best of my knowledge, yes, they are. Yes.
They are.
Yep.
Okay, well, thank you. I'd like to move a floor motion, thank you, regarding that. And I'd like my floor motion.
Would you like to wait till we get to item number 9.9, 9.11 on the
Pardon?
item number? Would you like to wait till we get the item number?
No, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move the floor motion now. Thank you. And the floor motion is I request to put up the 4 motions carried at the special meeting of electors on the 12th of April 2022 for consideration, and 1 and 2 of the officer's recommendation in today's agenda to be removed. That's my motion. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have a second for that? Seconder. Thank you, Councillor Zilke. Is there anyone against that motion? Thank you, Councillor Urquhart. Thank you. Okay. Councillor Gillingham.
Was there anybody against? Was
there? Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
To speak on the motion?
Yes, correct.
Right, thank you. I think it says it all regarding getting the motions on the books tonight, because everybody's worked hard to put their motions together. The officer's recommendation, I believe, is taken more from the letter which accompanied these all these signatures, and I quote the last paragraph in the letter to Mayor Peter Carter, signed by John Ashington at the beginning of all those signatures, is that please provide notice that you have received this email. The motion to be voted on at the electors meeting in accordance with ... of this request will be provided to you upon acknowledgement of the request that has been received. So the 4 motions were then asked for and gathered by the council from our electors and presented at the electors meeting and were voted on unanimously. Then the motions were actually put a floor motion was made, as just mentioned, and it was voted 6-2 to have the motions discussed and considered for voting for tonight's meeting, and they're not in the agenda. So that's really why I'm moving the floor motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Councillor Ilke.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all for coming tonight and sharing your stories. I'd prepared a speech that I wanted to do, but I'm going to have to cut it down a little bit. For me, tonight is not about how poisonous or safe these vaccines are, but it is about stopping the divide in our community, and I think that you made that very clear. As a councillor, all of us here, we've been working hard to build this community without the division created by these mandates, so dividing the vaccinated from the unvaccinated. Running a small business myself, I'm currently looking for a person that has to be vaccinated so that I can service all of my customers, which is not available to me at this point in time. There's businesses closing down due to lack of staff. There's people losing their jobs or their careers that are unable to pay their bills or put food on the table for their families. So I'm voting for these electors motions because I believe in a free democratic Australia where we all have the rights and autonomy over our lives and our bodies. And that includes the right of anybody who wants to be vaccinated, as well as those that don't want to be vaccinated. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Zucchi. Councillor Urquhart, for us against the motion.
Well, I only want to speak against one part of the motion. I fully endorse the first part of the motion to have the electors' motions presented and spoken about and voted on tonight. But I would not like to have the second part of that motion removed from tonight, because I do think, in respect for the electors, we do need to note that these motions have come up, and that was part one. The part two about writing to the Premier, personally, I was going to amend that motion so that we do take legal action. So I would accept the first part of Councillor Gillingham's motions, that we prepare and present all 4 electors' motions for debate and vote on, but I would respectfully ask for the office's recommendations to be taken off your floor motion so that we can put them up later with amendments.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. Anyone else for or against? For?
Firstly, thank you everyone for coming out tonight and expressing to us your thoughts and sharing with us your stories. I can appreciate tonight that it's not going to be a very easy decision for us as councillors as a whole, and there's a lot of factors that has to be considered. One that doesn't sit with me very well is the fact that moving forward, I guess the future implications on the town with so much infrastructure and stuff that we're looking at building. And obviously, should we go through with the motion, I dare say that will have a massive effect moving forward with governments, making it more difficult for our town to get grants and stuff like that. However, I guess what's the point of having multi-million-dollar facilities and infrastructures? We don't have community to share it. Not only tonight, but looking around our own town, our community, the evidence is right there. Everyone's suffering. Small businesses are suffering. We're losing people who've been here for decades that I grew up with. And it's not the headland that once it used to be. But I know with everyone here, we can get it back to that. And breathe. Something that did hit me today was someone told me, you cannot be forced to donate blood or marrow or organs even though thousands of people die every day. They cannot harvest your organs after death without explicit written permission. And yet those things save lives. So what has this mandate has done? Mandate has taken away people's liberty and choice of what you can put into your bodies. And like a community this tonight, I choose to stand up with you guys and stand up for what's right. And we'll be voting for it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Bennett. Do you have any more vote for or against?
Sorry, just point of order for clarification. So the original motion was to put 4 up and strike the 2, and then we've had a conversation saying that they wanted to amend it. Can I please confirm whether we're amending or whether we're just sticking with the original 4, please? So the original motion stand?
My original motion stands. If you want me to read it out again, I will.
No, that's okay.
And I do have a copy for
that's
the table as well, if you need be.
Okay, do we have any more for or against? Yes, Councillor Turner.
I'm against, in as much as that I will endorse Councillor Eckies. I'm prepared to debate and challenge
the idea that we fund a judicial review. I think that will be a worthwhile debate, and I think it also reflects, the whole community. There are, whilst I appreciate the passion and the story and the hardships, let's have the debate, and that's why I support the 4 motions to be put up, because I think Milo himself and Gloria brought it back to the motion at hand, and I'm happy to debate those issues, and let's get into it. Yeah? So I'm against, and I'm with Councillor Eki.
Councillor Eki, okay, thank you. Any more for or against? Yes, Councillor Coles.
We come here tonight to man up, stand up for basic human rights. Human rights that were originally taken away from us. Human rights that were made us and forced us to take unnecessary vaccinations consistently over a very short period of time. Family members have suffered. We've got separation in society. We've got people unable to work, who have lost their free will. Evidence, there is none. They won't provide it to us. Division, separation continues. Freedom to choose, freedom to pick. We are taught that our body is our rights. That has been taken away from us. Responsibility is ours and ours to choose. We should not be forced to make this choice. We should not have a gun put towards our head and told us, you pull the trigger or we pull the trigger. We've got to right the right of all the wrongs that have happened. It's our time to stand up, man up, and believe in our community. We're here to support you guys. You guys support us. Without community, we've got nothing. We know that there's going to be implications for this, but you know what? Together we stand as one. Never divided. We conquer as one.
Thank you, Councillor Coles. Do you have any more for or against? Councillor, for or against? Any more? Councillor Christian? You happy with what it is? Yeah. Okay, well, let's move forward. Yes, you're on report. That's
yeah, right of reply.
Yes.
Now? Okay, thank you. Thank you everybody for being here this evening. It has troubled me that the motions, your 4 motions, which are so diligently and amazingly written, and I congratulate you, that the 4 motions are not in the agenda, and this motion is to put these up into the agenda. So as this stands, so that then they can be voted on, and as mentioned by some of the members of the public tonight. So that is what the motion is about, is to request to put up the 4 motions were carried at the special meeting of electors on the 12th of April 22 for consideration, and the point 1 and 2 of the officer's recommendation in today's agenda to be removed. Now, when reading through the officer's recommendation, some of these words have been taken from just a preamble to the signatures, which I have read, notes the intent of petition as attached. Yes, we've already noted that, haven't we? Because you had your meeting, and then we've moved it forward for now. Writing to the Premier, I think there's going to be an awful lot of writing to the Premier anyway about this, and which will be good. But like you say, hoping that we'll all work together to make things happen once we do vote on this as the motions. At the moment, we are voting to put these motions in the agenda, all right? I think because then the agenda item will come up shortly, and then there will be a vote by the councillors, which you have put those agendas forward. So I just wanted to make that clear as for my right of reply, because we have to first vote to get them onto the books. All right, onto the paperwork, and thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you. So it's a procedural motion. Just, Councillor Gahan, it's a procedural motion you're putting up? To get them up? Yeah, okay, thank you. Sorry. Please be quiet, thank you. Please be quiet, thank you.
I can move a procedural motion if so wished, but I have
It's already
moved
moved
and
and seconded
seconded,
already. Yeah.
and so I'm assuming now that we vote on this.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Put it to the vote. Okay, all those in favour of the motion? Yeah. Of Councillor Poo's motion from yes. 5. All those against? Okay. Motion's lost. 5-3. Item number 7.
Excuse me, Chair, through the Chair. While the precedent's been set, I'd like to put up a 4 motion as well, please, before we get to item 7.
Certainly, Councillor. Yes.
Point of order.
Sorry,
point
Councillor.
of clarification.
Councillor. Councillor.
There should have been a
Sorry,
foreshadow.
Councillor.
Should have been foreshadow.
I'll allow it. Thank you.
Or motion of dissent.
Councillor. One. Councillor.
I have a motion of dissent.
Councillor. Councillor. Thank you.
Again, I do thank people in the community, not only just for coming here tonight and putting together the motions that we are going to debate tonight. I'm happy to do that and happy to stand with you on those. There were a lot of passion and emotion shown tonight and throughout the community for the last month or so since the special electors meeting was held on the 12th of last month. And that is fantastic to see as a councillor and as an elected representative for you. Someone mentioned tonight that there's going to be moments of comfort and uncomfort or discomfort for the people making decisions tonight. With some of the statements tonight, from a personal point of view, that I was feeling a little bit uncomfortable by some of the statements you guys are making, in that there was a presupposition that all of us on council have chosen to be vaccinated because of work or other choices that were forced on us. And there's also a presupposition that all of us have families. And not all of us are married, not all of us have children, not all of us have had the vaccinations, not all of us have been put in a position that a lot of you have, that either get jabbed or no job. And so on that, some of those comments, whilst I was taking them on board and I empathise with you, did make me feel a little bit uncomfortable. Now, I said earlier in my opposition to Councillor Killingham's floor motion that I think we should still have the officer recommendations, at least the first one put up, because you guys want us to note that we have taken you on board and we've taken you seriously.
Point of order, what is your motion, Councillor Eckhart?
I'm getting there.
Let him continue.
The motion is that we note, the council notes that the electors met and put up 4 very compelling arguments. The intent of the petition as attached by you guys and sent to us on the 12th. I would like to also explore any and all legal avenues to challenge the legality and lawfulness of the decisions made by the State of Western Australia in relation to the COVID-19 mandates and restrictions imposed on the public of this state. That is my motion.
Take that as a foreshadow motion. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, item number 7.
Point of clarification, please. Is that a foreshadow motion? Because I also
Foreshadow
wish to foreshadow a motion as well. So again, if we can take it back to where it should be, this stuff should be discussed and talked about. If we go through the next item 7, please, and then move to the actual items, and then we can actually sort this out, please.
Point of clarification through the chair. As when I moved my motion, anybody could have jumped in as a councillor and foreshadowed a motion then. You don't foreshadow a motion
I allow that,
after.
thank you. I allow that, thank you. Okay, item number 7. Declaration of all members have given due consideration to all matters contained in the business paper before them. I invite all elected members to declare by a show of hands that they have given all due consideration to all matters contained within the agenda? Thank you, councillors. Item number 8, minutes of a previous meeting. The council notes the minutes of the special electors meeting, including the following amendments to item 3.1, attendance and recording of the registered attendees. Item number 9, reports of officers. 9.1, regulated services. 9.1.1, response to petition, obviously the COVID-19 mandates. Other motions? Yeah, I'll read through as well. Yes, okay. So I had the officers' recommendations, also Councillor Gillingham, have your motions put up.
Can we just put those motions up on the
Back up the screen, thank you.
I have given the wording to the admin.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Gillingham.
So I think we voted on that as part of your procedural motion. I think the debate now is the 4 motions put at the special electors meeting, as written on page 8 and 9 of the agenda.
So we now have do you need a mover or a seconder? We just debate today. So
Correct, yes.
I move the 4 motions. I would like to move the 4 motions that were put up at the electors meeting on the 12th of April in 2022 to move them at the meeting. Thank you. Now they are in the agenda.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Gillingham. We have a second for that. Councillor Zuki. Thank you, Councillor Zuki. Anyone against those motions? Yeah, Councillor Turner. Thank you. They're coming. Sure.
Page 89 of the agenda.
And also through the clarification, can we please readdress where we're going with all this? Because again, there's been a lot of to and froing. I'd always assume that once you open a motion, you can then foreshadow that motion. Can we please reiterate what the foreshadowed motion is going to be, so we can then make an educated decision on what we are actually wanting to do, please?
We will ask Councillor Eckhart for his wording on his foreshadowed motion, but we'll come to that after we've dealt with the motion from Councillor Gillingham, which is the 4 motions on the screen.
Point of clarification: a foreshadowed motion will not go ahead because the motion has been passed. My floor motion was passed. I believe that's correct.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't believe Councillor Eckhart is proposing something that is contradictory to the motion that you're moving, but happy for Councillor Eckhart during debate to move an amendment if that is a preference.
If you class it as a foreshadowed motion, the foreshadowed motion would be lost because the motion was carried. Carried 5-3. 5-3.
Councillor Eckhart, want to submit the motion? Move on? Okay, thank you. Okay, Councillor Gillingham, do you want to speak to the motion?
Oh, yes, thank you. I believe that the motions, which are very well written, the 4 motions, are we voting on? We're voting on the 4 motions one by one. Is it absolute majority? I need points of clarification here before I go on. Thank you.
We're very on.
Councillor, I would suggest you vote on them individually because electors motion 3 will involve an absolute majority.
Clarification through the chair, is it only elect the motion number 3 that needs to be an absolute majority?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes,
so I'd like to move election, the motion number 1. Thank you. As it's motion number 3. Let's do motion number 3. So
You do number 1 first.
Through the chair, sorry.
We'll do motion number 1 first. Yeah, so number
Right.
1.
Number 1, as directed from the Mayor. Thank you, Mayor.
Yep.
I would like to move motion number 1 and as it reads. Thank you.
Okay, do I have a second to that?
Just point of clarification, if I can, Mr. Mayor. My understanding is Councillor Billingham has moved motions 1, 2, 3 and 4. Councillor Zilke has seconded and Councillor Turner is against. I would think that Councillor Billingham should speak to all 4 motions and then we'll go through debate and then we can vote on them individually.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. Okay, thank you. Sorry? Okay, all right. Councillor Gillingham?
I thought I had moved the 4 motions, but I'm just a little bit confused here, so I will move the 4 motions. And you want me to speak on the 4 motions?
Speak to the 4 motions, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, I'd like to say to the people in our room here today, the electors, the way that the motions have been written, I find these motions are impeccably written compared to many of the motions that I have read from other councils in West Australia and around Australia and even in New Zealand. So there's a lot of work has gone into these motions and it is actually giving clear, good direction. These motions, to be passed, would mean that this can't happen again in Australia. West Australia, other parts of the world have already moved motions to this effect, or the mandates have been dropped. I know that fellow councillors will not think that $500,000 is, really a lot of money, because it is something which has to be, we have to put some dollars forward. And I know it's going to attract more attention from other councils for getting this across the line. It means that people will come out, other councils will come out. We will not have to just brunt the cost of it all, but it'll be a long haul. We know it's going to be a long haul, but we need to stand up for our people and make sure that this does not happen again. So the 4 motions as they stand has the wording clear and precise. And what more can I say? I think congratulations to the people who put these motions together.
Okay, thank you, Councillor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Councillor Zuki.
Pretty much the same thing. I support this because thinking of myself and my family, selfish, I know, but I'm thinking about our long-term health, and so I'd like to stop this from ever happening again. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Turner.
Motion against. Right, here we go. So it really is about the motion for tonight. I'll make a declaration in that I am fully vaccinated. I've got my 3 shots. And I know that's not the issue that's being debated here, per se. But I've also willingly supported the mandates. Okay, I believe that it's provided protection to the community. Hang on.
Excuse me. Let me continue. Thank you.
I'm allowed. Right. But I also want to say that I appreciate the opinions that have been voiced here tonight and the experience of the special electors. So I'm engaged in this debate respectfully as a member of the community, a long-term member of the community that's raised his family here and that has lived in the community and given everything that I could possibly give to this community. But this is a motion that I don't believe that I can support. Motion 1 refers to the residents. So if we look at motion 1, town apply for a judicial review of the following decisions, of which is adversely affecting the personal, occupational and commercial interests of residents, businesses operating and visitors to Town of Port Hedland. And then there's the points from A to G. What I would say is that I have had very strong representation from the community, from persons that are both elderly, persons that carry comorbidities, Aboriginal persons, and particularly those that carry compromised immunity. They have said that they have wanted vaccinations, they have said that they have wanted the mandate. So that is not an insignificant group of people that lives in this community. I'm saying, this has been my experience and this is what I'm stating. Now I know this is not a popular view in this room, but I believe I'm representing the whole of the community and I'm representing their voices too. If you look at the point in motion 2 relating to the judicial review for any future decision against points A and G in motion 1, what this does, it actually underpins an indefinite commitment to time and expense. So really it's like we start with 500,000, that's the down payment. We don't know where this is going to end. If the...
Excuse me. Continue, Councillor.
If the function of local government in its broadest terms, according to the LG Act, is to manage efficiently and effectively, then an open-end commitment to support the finance of a legal challenge fails this benchmark.
Excuse me.
I don't think it's the responsibility of local government to make available inexhaustible funds to mount both a current and future legal challenge against the mandates that clearly sit with the state government. As noted in motion 3, 500,000 represents, I believe, only represents the down payment. And once we go down a path of litigation, this figure will simply grow, and in the likely event we lose the challenge, we'd also be incurring the costs of state government, which would take us possibly into the millions. Are the councillors who are for this motion prepared to expose the town of Port Hedland and its ratepayers to this risk? How do they propose to pay for it?
Sorry, excuse me. Continue, Councillor Turner. Excuse me. Quiet from the gallery, please.
Look, I appreciate it because I'm putting arguments that sit in the community here, so that's okay. So again, raise rates. Okay, we're about to have that conversation is going to come to council very soon. So what would that rate rise look like if we were to sort of say we're committed to this action? You know, are we going to draw upon the cash reserves? Are we going to cancel major infrastructure? Are we going to continue to borrow money to offset the legal challenge if this drags on for years? I don't think this has been considered. I don't think the council has actually really considered the implications of this decision. This is not feasible. And the proposal fails a basic function of local government, and that is to manage with greater accountability, manage efficiently and effectively the resources that are given to us in our charge. Motion 4 refers and seeks to allow the support from other local governments, WOLGA, local government professionals and other professional bodies. This takes us outside of the remit of the town of Port Hedland. Now, the legal advice that we've been provided and the legal advice that I've read possibly means that we're taking the town's position will be considered ultra vires, which basically means we're acting outside our powers under the general functions of local government. these are the reasons that I'm against this motion. And interestingly, there was a point made earlier in the discussions, and I think it also sets a precedence, and it's a very dangerous precedence, that if we approve this, if we support this, then it sets a precedence for any other mandated direction government makes, and that elements or groups in the community don't support or not going to adhere to. So the precedence we're setting is massively significant, and as people have intimated, or have said, claimed, this will have implications for both the state and nationally. So these are the reasons why I'm against this motion. So I rest my case.
Thank you, Councillor Turner. Is anyone else for the motion? No. Anyone else against the motion? Against the motion? Councillor Richards?
Rightio, so I sit here a little bit embarrassed and a little bit perplexed at my own inability to read our own standing orders, and if what I fear may happen, I cannot do nothing but apologise to everybody here today. So before we go into my speech, I first and foremost want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming down here tonight and opening up to what you guys have. I've had a lot of people reach out to me personally through the phone calls, and I thank you all for your time having to ring me to give me your side of the story and share your story with me. I actually honestly do appreciate it. I did want to foreshadow a motion to safeguard the 4 electors' motions that we have put up for a reason. While I do support the motion that we are trying to fight here, I fear that the vehicle in which we're trying to take is somewhat a dangerous road to go, and one that I don't foresee will be successful, in my opinion. Am I afraid of a fight? No. You ask anybody that will know me, they'll tell you hands down that I will pick more fights than I should ever have to pick. I'm a little chihuahua that picks a pit bull, because why not? It sounds like a good idea. So I'm in for a fight, believe it or not. Having said that, there was a few things that touched home to me. Being very, I guess, ordained to the military way, there was mention of the Anzacs. Now, we talk about being on the right side of history here, and when we reference the Anzacs and we go back to the big incident on the beach that all took place, which created the Anzac legend, I'll bring you back to a bit of history where it was one of the biggest mistakes Australian military has ever made. It was a mistake to land on that beach and get desecrated the way that they did. For sure, and I agree with that. But who pays that sacrifice? And what I'm trying to get at here is the fact that we right now are storming the beach, as Adrian said, and I'm happy to quote, is that so we're going to be erasing this on Australia's behalf. First and foremost, the words out of you guys' mouth that we're going to fight for Australians, and I agree that by setting a precedent here, we are going to be fighting for everyone. Councillor Turner has mentioned the fact that the ultra-vires. My biggest fear with this is the fact that the town of Port Hedland's name will be on this thing going towards the state government and giving them all the ammunition they need to shut us down quicker than I believe that we can see it. Again, my suggestion was going to be that had this did fail, that everybody here present today come together to create a group that will actually marginalise how many people there are, so we can actually start to have those good conversations. Because right now, we have been asked here to make a decision on yes or no. In my personal belief, I think there's a middle ground. I honestly do believe this, and I would fight tooth and nail to make this happen. However, this would just be a never-ending circle. Right now, we are driving to Perth with half a tank of fuel. $500,000 is not going to be enough to get us to the finish line. We are storming the beach with half the people that we need. Are we going to continue going forward? Again, I want this to work. Do I believe this is the vehicle to get us there? No, I don't. I honestly do wish it would be. And again, this is where I'm saying, I want us to work together to get these motions to be in a position where I think we can actually do what we say we're going to do.
Excuse me. Continue, Christian.
Thank you. And while I do agree with you guys here, and again, you guys are talking out of passion, and I can't thank you guys enough. It's not easy to stand here and be passionate about what you do, but unfortunately, in times, we have to stand up and lead with sometimes our mind. I'll look at you all here right now, and I stood and looked at you guys and said, I do agree with this, I do. But again, I cannot agree with that motion 3 to start with on the basis that it will not get us to where we need to be. And
Excuse me, quiet. Continue, Christensen.
So again, listening to other people, what we're going to be doing, I do think we do need to have a really good think about what we're going to do before this vote comes down. Because while I will support the motion, I do believe that there needs to be a hell of a lot of changes to it to ensure that we get the right outcome. There is nothing here that is going to safeguard your motion. And I'm talking to you seriously. You want this to go ahead, we need to safeguard what you want to do. And I wish I could be more empathetic and a bit more loving to it, but again, I want this to work. I honestly do.
Excuse me, guys. Please be quiet from the gallery. Continue, Christensen.
So, pending no other comments from this, and hoping that we can find a reason and find a way, somebody who's smarter than myself, to make this work, I'm hoping that we can make it work. However, right now, the way it's worded, I can't do it. So unless somebody can find a way to make it maybe adjourn and park these up so we can actually come together to actually make this work, I can't full-heartedly support this, because again, I don't believe it will make it work. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Christensen. Councillor Gillingham, you'd like to sum? Anyone else for or against? Councillor Gillingham.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, for speaking. Thank you, Councillor Christensen, for your words there. This in some of our information from confidential information from lawyers, you know, it's a judicial review. Such judicial review which is being asked for. But I take note of what Councillor Ash Christensen has said. The thought has also been brought forward that a committee could be formed, and this could be voted on more than likely at the next council meeting, to have a committee that's going to run this to make sure it's done correctly, and that monies that will go forward towards it will be done correctly and not just voted on by the council when it comes to monies in the future. And I know that Councillor Christian has expressed the wish to have that, and I think working together, this would be the way forward, that we would do that. I joined council, and my oath was to be honest, with integrity, and to work for the community. And that's what I'm doing here, is moving these motions because of the way they've been written, and to move through. We're in the new age. We're not used to this. This is the new age. And what's it going to be different in 10 or 20 years' time for my grandsons and my great-grandson who turns 2 next week? What's it going to be like for him in a few years' time? Yes, we're doing this for the whole of Australia. We're doing it for Western Australia, and it will be a flow-on effect. But the other parts of Australia are already dropping their mandates. We're actually voting and talking about dropping the mandates. That's really what it's all about. It's the work mandates so that you guys can go back to work. That's you've had to say about your vaccines. You've had everything about, yes, we've had people close to us that have died. I've had a great aunt in the Czech Republic who died, and she was the oldest living relative of our family from a long time ago. I won't ever get to see her again.
Yeah, it's really, really sad that's happened. She was triple vaccinated as well, but she died. I feel really sorry for everything that's going on with the COVID, but you know, we didn't ask for the COVID. It just came here, and we did the best we could. I didn't like it that the borders were opened, but they were. All right, but we have to learn to live with it. I know that. Now the health department are telling us that 50-50, that in hospital are 50-50, vaccinated, no vaccinated, they're still getting COVID, people are still getting the COVID now. But it's not about that tonight. It's all about your emotions in moving forward to have these mandates dropped so that people can go back to work, the nurses can go back to work, the teachers can go back to work, people can go and have their jobs. So where is the Aussie Fair Go gone? Where is the Aussie Fair Go gone? So I confer with Councillor Christensen that, yes, we do need to do this properly. This is our first step in doing it properly. And to have these motions moved, and I'll stand corrected through the chair. We vote one at a time on these motions.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
That's right. Vote one of these times at these motions. But this big amount of money, a committee can be formed so that it is done correctly. And I would say that would be something that I would like to move that would happen. And there's still so many days before any of this would even come into power. But it's a step forward. It's a step forward. Here we are the powerhouse of Australia in Port Hedland. We're one of the oldest, shires, or our council is one of the oldest. She has been here 20 odd years, 26 years, and that. And in July we're celebrating the bombing of Darwin and things like that. So we've been here a long time, but we don't want this to happen again. We don't want the mandates to come back again, and I urge the councillors to vote with their heart, to vote with their gut, because we can work together, and I want us to work together. And even if councillors around the table vote against this tonight, I still want us to work together. But our electors have put this forward. We are here for our electors, and we don't want this to happen again. We don't want it to happen again, and I urge our councillors to please vote with their heart tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Okay, we'll now put it to the vote for the
through the chair.
Sorry,
through the chair. Can I just request an amendment on the fact if the original mover is happy with it?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear what you said.
Can I suggest an amendment to electors motion 3 if it is all right with the original mover of the motion?
You can move it as an amendment, should you wish to, or with the agreement of the mover and the seconder of the primary motion, they could accept it. Depends what your amendment is, Councillor.
Right, so I will ask and suggest that we add to electors motion number 3 a subsection C to the lines of what we just discussed, to the lines of that we invite, and again, happy to be corrected because I'm not the smartest man with the words, but I want it to be a stipulation of this, that we form a group, obviously, or a advisory of some kind, where all the electors and I guess a subset or a set group to become named, or however you want to do it, join forces so we can ensure this is what it is set to be.
I'm happy to put that point in to the motion.
Can you clarify the wording, Councillor?
Yeah, like I said, I'm happy to, so anyone wants to jump in, like we just talked about it. So at the end of the day, as long as we ensure that there is a core group or a collective group that's formed to help direct this. End of the day, I don't want this to be directed to via local government by itself. And then with that group, again, this is where we'll have to work out the legalities and the rules of how that applies.
So you want that under motion 3, section C, correct?
Sorry, Sorry, Councillor, I'm still trying to clarify the wording and sort of, I guess, clarify the intent, given you're, I think, suggesting an advisory group is going to assist in some way in terms of determining the legal court challenge and the spending of funds, council funds.
No, it's purely just to ensure that the intent of this motion is carried through to its fullest extent.
Sorry, excuse me. Quiet.
The debate. I'm still unclear on the wording and intent, and other councillors will have.
I'm happy to put that point in. I think Councillor Christian is trying to get the wording right. I guess maybe our staff can help us if need be. To put that point C in that we did, I just did talk about through the chair. I did just talk about forming a committee, and it was something which Councillor Christian had mentioned previously.
Through the chair, I would ask the CEO to try and help with that, because again, we need to make sure that it's something that can actually be achieved, and that we're covering off on any legalities that are involved in doing that. So I guess if I could ask councillors to bear with us while we try and make sure that we end up with the right intent that the councillor is requesting.
No, I can withdraw because again, obviously, there's going to be a hell of a lot of unknowns that's attributed to it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Councillor Christensen.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, it's something that we can please, through the chair, look into for the future of
that's
these
fine.
motions. Thank you.
Okay. Let's start with motion 1. Let's put it to the vote. All those in favour of electors motion number 1, all those show of hands, please. 3, 4, 5. All those against? 2, 3. Motion's passed. 5, 3. Okay, motion number 2, put it to the vote. All those in favour, show of hands, please. All those against? 5, 3. Motion number 3. All those in favour, show of hands, please. 4. All those against? 3, 4. All those against? I'll use a casting vote to also go against.
Is it through the chair? Is this an absolute majority?
It does require an absolute majority.
That's an absolute majority vote, yeah?
Yes.
Through the chair, the mayor cannot have a casting vote with an absolute majority.
Cannot pass either.
I understand that, but I'm just saying the mayor cannot have a casting vote.
Okay, item number 4. All those in favour? All those against? 5-3. Okay, Councillor Urquhart, do you still want to foreshadow?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I would like the council to entertain this particular motion if they could, that we explore any and all legal avenues, to challenge the legality and lawfulness of the decisions made by the State of Western Australia in relation to the COVID-19 mandates and their restrictions imposed on the public of the state.
To read that a lot slower, councillor, so that we can put that up on the screen.
It's been sent off to the governance team on email, if they've got their emails open.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. Okay. Yep.
It should have been sent to you. You've got it on your email.
Yep.
On the governance email, Joyce.
Can we do that? No, now? Yep. 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 Okay, Councillor Eckhart, is that correct? Happy, Councillor? Okay, is there a second to that, please?
A point of clarification?
Yes, Councillor.
The wording, I really don't think that this can be done.
Well, it's his motion, that's it. That's his mandates. It's a broad. Okay. Can I get a seconder, please? On Councillor Urquhart's. No seconder? Councillor, so make sure you read it first before we go. No? No seconder? Okay, motion lapsed, okay. Yeah. Number 10. Yeah. Okay, item number 10. New business of urgent nature, late items there is nil. Item number 11, closure. 11.1, the date of the next meeting. Councillors, this brings us to the end. The next council meeting will be held on the 25th of May 2022 at 5:30 p.m. 11.2, closure. This being no further business, I declare the meeting closed at 9:04 p.m. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, directors. Thank you, audience, for coming along. Thank you.